Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Indie Saturday stream. The reason we're getting further and further away from the mic is because I am going to actually get my drink, which I'm probably going to need to fill back up in a bit. This is going to be our final Heaven Will Be Mine stream for now, ? And it's going to be, because of that, a bit of a special one, where I will be oh my god, I'm out of puff. It's warmer than I'm used to, and it's warmer than I can handle, and it's really getting to me. Anyway, this is our final Heaven Will Be Mine stream, and we are going to be playing through a Saturn and trying to get the true ending, secret ending, hidden ending, Easter egg ending, whatever it may be. I don't actually know anything about this. I don't know if it's like the same as other endings, even though I don't see how it is or what. But we are going to be working towards that. I ran a bunch of errands today in the middle of the afternoon when it was warmest, so I'm tired, and I'm also really out of like heat-based spoons. Whoops, sound of me knocking stuff over. And if you can hear a noise in the background, it's because one of the errands I was running was getting a fan, which is hopefully quieter than my old fan, but it may still make a bit of background noise. So like, this is the test stream. I meant to like test the amount of background noise before stream, and then I just didn't. I just sat in bed, sat eating lunch and then sat in bed for a bit, spacing out and trying to cool down, and then I went outside to get my clothes from the dryer and lost all of that progress in the cooling down realm. Anyway, let's swap to the gameplay. I'll stop rambling. Boy howdy, do I wish it would not do that. Anyway, deep breath, center self. Actually, I'm going to swap back to the starting screens just for a second. Oh. Hello, Oro. Thank you very much for the raid. It is very much appreciated. There we go. Sorry for the choppy audio there. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I was going to AFK, but I guess not now that you're raiding. Hello. Hello friends from Oro's stream, or Dark Insanity stream. I imagine most of you know me, but if you don't, it's me and Mochi. I am a variety streamer, and at the moment I'm streaming my final playthrough of Heaven Will Be Mine, which is a wonderful game about being gay and being in space and also piloting giant robots. It is very, very good. So I am going to get started. I'm going to be playing through a Saturn because it's been ages since I played as her and I miss her. So, Celestial Mechanics Reserve Test Pilot. Celestial Mechanics wants to advance humanity to its next stage, and Saturn wants to flirt, but there's no reason we can't do both. Combat style, button mashing. Bedroom style, button mashing. I love Saturn. Down. Welcome. Provisional Test Pilot Saturn. Your clearance level is 1. Testing and maintenance. Warning. Potential damage to cockpit hardware detected. Modifying or tampering with cockpit hardware and or other firmware strictly prohibited. Hello Tara. How are you? I hope you are doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I hope it is cooler where you are than it is where I am, because I'm dying. They said taking a massive sip of cold water that they will need to refill soon. Saturn, what are you doing? Bypass override accepted. Launch temp blocked. No handshake with base. Oh hey Mercury. Not much. Launch temp blocked. Base handshake spoof detected. Just hacking the OS root of the ship self. You? Base handshake. Insert numbers here. Ooh. Just sound good. I suppose it's probably what you're used to. It is, let me check, swap back to Fs. 78 here, up in Seattle, and I am dying because I am not used to the warmth. So, If you hear a noise in the background of my mic, it's the fan that I just bought, which I'm still working out how quiet it is and whether it can be heard on the mic. So, base handshake, insert numbers here. Base handshake accepted. Trying to stop some brat from hijacking the prototype, apparently. Notice, emergency launch override initiated. Prepare for launch in T-minus 120 seconds. Calm down, Mercury, I'm just borrowing it. I'm not debating, I'm trying to save your life. The commander will be furious and he won't just accept you stealing the Cornerstone project from the designated pilot. It's not a big deal, I'll have it back before you know it. This is privileged information, but the designated pilot has to launch right this second to get that machine back to Earth before they get here. This is the worst possible time. Couldn't be worse if you planned it. Everyone in the system somehow knows this base's location and they're heading here now. Notice, use launch override blocked, denied by base. Oh, wow, weird. How did that happen? Blocked, denied by base. Denied by base. You planned it, didn't you? You forgot an apostrophe. Base override, remote shutdown in 30 seconds. No one can prove anything, especially not the designated pilot unconscious in Locker 27. Whoops, looks like they're trying to kick me out, huh? Saturn, I know you're mad, but you can't do this when they do this. When they catch you, it's going to be so bad. Can you just please act like you're just pranking them? There's still time, I will beg them. Oh, such a worry word. You've got hours to evacuate to the capital ship. They'll never engage you this far from base, and I'll be distracting them. I have it all figured out. Except for how you're going to do anything at all to accomplish that with everyone trying to kill you. Remote shutdown in 20 seconds. Saturn, try to have a little faith. Remote shutdown in 15 seconds. Saturn, calm down, jeez, it doesn't take a genius to drive one of these things to the moon. Who cares which one of us does it? Or do you think I can't? Remote shutdown in 10 seconds. That's not the issue. The commander cares, and you know better than anyone what he's like. Remote shutdown in 9 seconds. Yapetus will just have to get used to it. Well, 8 seconds. Saturn, what are you trying to prove? 7, 6. So much, Mercury. 5. But give me a little credit. 4. 3. I have much higher ambitions than just being a bitch. This is like the first screenshot I ever took of this game, and as soon as I saw that line, I was like, I'm in love with the writing of this game, it's so good. Error, IFF sequence missing. Base override cancelled. I almost got worried for a sec. Well, welcome, assigned pilot. Full permissions granted. Oh, there goes my monitor, strangely. What's going on? Why are you doing this? And also, why did OBS get minimized? Ah, because it moved itself across monitors. Very weird. Sorry about that. My second monitor was bought secondhand and it's several years old now, and also flew to the US in a suitcase. And I think it's starting to die, but I don't want to buy a new monitor, so my plan thus far has been to just ignore it, and then I guess when it actually dies I will freak out and get another second-hand one from like Craigslist or something. Saturn, I'm going to die and it'll be your fault. Oh, come on. I'll get this to the moon safe and sound, and let the Severance project be complete. I'll be very good, maybe, and do everything I'm supposed to, maybe. I know I'm the second choice, but they'd rather have that than nothing, right? Very generous of me, isn't it? They will not accept that. They will sort of have to though, won't they? If Command didn't want me to steal one, they shouldn't have benched me indefinitely. Emergency launch initiated. Let me know when you start admitting it. Hostile launch. Catapult locks on. High risk of damage to your ship self. Geez, now they're just being needy. Mercury, isn't it just the worst when someone who doesn't care anymore starts clinging just because you found someone new? Notice, prepping weapon systems. Electrotoxin level surging. Weapons operational. So gross. Emergency launch initiated. I love Saturn so much. Can't believe I really did it. I really, really did it. Everyone who said if I was good I'd get my chance again sure was a liar. I got away and I've got a ship and she's all mine. You're beautiful. I want to know everything about you. I miss this so much. Much better than the test machines when I was in the academy. She is beautiful. She's a wicked machine with a lot of secrets, and just as giddy as her pilot to be free. She's extremely responsive, eager to do everything Saturn wants. You're even worth reading the manual for. What's in you? You're not hiding anything from me, are you? But Saturn already knows everything in the manual and more. It's a cage document that doesn't do the ship justice and is certainly hiding something. There's plenty of information on how to use electromagnetic poisons and how to cheat distance and gravity and all of that, but none of that tells her the first thing about how to be a ship. This is useless. How can this help diagnose anything when they don't know the first thing about being a ship? So what? Way too dry. That's not what it feels like at all. It's a body that's also a soul. It means exactly what it is. That's why it's small, curved in wicked edges and in some places, but curved in soft ways elsewhere. Sharp claws and deadly tail, but cute enough to hug. I love Saturn. So perfectly suited for Saturn, one has to understand exactly why they wouldn't. So perfectly suited for Saturn, one has to understand exactly why they wouldn't give it to her. Really perfect. Fits better than a human body. That's reason enough to disobey everyone and run off with it, isn't it? Oh, speaking of, more threatening emails from Iapetus. Missing me already? I gave him a perfectly good deal. For someone who always goes on about mutually beneficial arrangements, he's really having trouble seeing the big picture. In the time it takes him to realise that, I'm sure I can find something fun to do in the system. Time to test you out and see if it's really true. Can you give me everything I want, down to the last drop? I love it. Oh, so good. It's January 1st, 1980, and the long and cold war, where humanity united against its nemesis, an existential threat from beyond the stars, has been over for a long time. Since the 50s, we've been fighting a war against an existential threat that we cannot understand, cannot perceive, and is powerless against the technology of Earth. That's a pretty stupid sort of war to fight, isn't it, when there's enough of a mess down here to worry about? Humanity is already the undisputed authority of reality, and we have the physics to prove it. It's time to return to Earth, our home, the seat of the universe. Before Earth takes us back in pieces, let's go home with grace. On the first anniversary of the decommissioning of the International Space Programme, we, the Memorial Foundation Natosphere Existential Safety, in agreement with our home planet's unanimous decision, declare there is no future for humanity in space. Let's come home. It's January 1st, 1981. It's been 1 year since we declared independence from Memorial Foundation and the rest of Earth. The Cold War is officially over, and it feels so light without their gravity weighing us down. How can a tiny handful of colonies, terraformers and schools hold out against the full authority of Earth? Because that shit doesn't fly past escape velocity. To power the ship cells we made to fight the Cold War, we made tidal resonators to bring the gravity necessary for humans and culture to survive in space. And that gravity is ours now. Enough to make a new world, free from the weight of Earth. If Memorial Foundation wants to kill the future, they'll have to come and take us from us. We're thankful for our cradle's graces, but we're not coming back. It's January 25th, 1981. Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces have been having fun for little over a year, and nothing is breaking the stalemate. Earth is getting impatient. They have good reason to believe that the existential threat posed by a divided humanity and space is much greater than any theoretically malevolent entity outside the native sphere. While the kids are fighting, Earth is getting ready to list the humans remaining in space as part of the existential threat, and when they do, they'll send real weapons, and end this war fought with plastic toys. Their justification? We're technically less than 100% human, just not human enough to be something else. It's hard to believe they're really onto us. It's time to make a drastic move. Bring our final piece, the prototype ship self, string of pearls we made in the atmosphere of the planet Cronus, which will never be Saturn, to the lunar gravity well, where Memorial Foundation and Cradle's Graces are already headed. Whoever controls that place controls human access to space. We can be sure everything will be in place there. Earth or space, we are just short of 100% human. So let's see how much less than 100% we can get. I love Pluto, and I love Lunaterra, and I love all of them, and these girls are just so wonderful. But there is something about Saturn, and there is something about celestial mechanics which just appeals to me on like a visceral level. I think I identify by far and away most with Saturn, and then kind of with Lunaterra. Mostly with Saturn though, but if I had to choose one of the factions, celestial mechanics all the way. They're my canon faction. Day 1. Subject: your apparent promotion. Good job, Saturn. There's no point in being angry with you, so I'll choose to be proud of you instead. I'll refrain from having you sunk, since that's counterproductive to our intentions for that unit. You were a reserve candidate after all, so you'll do fine. Try not to make it too much of a pain in the ass for me. I'll have Mercury reassigned to you since he apparently doesn't have much say in the matter. The two of you had so much potential. Handstagic, two of you had so much potential. Well, he knows how to do his job at least. Do your best not to get strung a pulse link. We'll absolutely wash you out of the biological interface and reassign you permanently if we get the chance, so prove you're competent enough and neither of us will have wasted our time. Subject, truce ending effective immediately. To all members of the former Memorial Foundation Natosphere Existential Research Division, now known as Celestial Mechanics, this message serves as a formal acknowledgement that this branch has violated our trust and broken the provisions of the 1981 Memorial Foundation Consensus by violating Clause 3, the development of a variable gravity engine, and Clause 7, installation of a variable gravity engine into ship self-stringer pearls. Celestial Mechanics will no longer be listed as part of Memorial Foundation. They will be formally relisted as an independent entity and considered a true existential threat by Memorial Foundation, Native Sphere Existential Safety. We are still offering forgiveness, so please defect as soon as possible while the appeal grace period is still in effect. Please otherwise expect tidal retaliation for existential endangerment of human culture. Halimidi, Princess Memorial Foundation, Native Sphere Existential Safety. And also a little rat. I don't like Halimidi. Don't talk to me. A boy in space on purpose, consummate bridge bunny, not responsible for Saturn. I also love Saturn's witch's insufferable horrible creature, forward all complaints to Mercury. These two are so good together. You literally messaged me first, you nerd. Oh my god. Harpy. Come on, baby, I'm sorry. What can I do to make it up to you? Give back the ship. Come on, I'm obviously not doing that. Please, I'm begging you. Listen to reason. You have so much left to live for. Oh, Mercury, come on, we both know that's not true. What do you want from me? A list of girls who will shoot me out of orbit? God. Anyway, don't be a crybaby, I'm fine. Saturn, you are extremely wrong if you think there is a chance I am at all worried about you. If you come back, all will be forgiven, but you need to bring it back. Mercury, it's fun playing, but I don't think you've been listening at all. Mercury, it's not that ship anymore, it's me. Mercury, you wouldn't ask me to give up my own self, would you? I'm sailing on a ship of myself now, and I'm not giving it up until gravity drags me back kicking and screaming. I cannot deal with you. Oh, thanks, baby. Kiss, kiss. You are a nightmare, and I'm giving up trying to save you from yourself. I feel like I should be reading Saturn's, like, RTYBB, heart kiss kiss. Rather than read Saturn's as if I'm reading, like, her text speech out loud. I'm giving up trying to save you from yourself. Love you. I hate you so much. You can't stay mad at me. I can't, and it's horrible, but my revenge will come because literally everyone else in the universe can. Oh, darn. Guess I should have fun while it lasts. Saturn, if you defect, I cannot protect you. Iapetus is furious, and he's going to come personally for you if you don't come back. I told you I do all the missions. What, don't you believe me? Obviously not. Lol fair. Okay, let me ask this. Do you think I'd give up on the aversion project? Go on. Iapetus wanted us to fight for a new self beyond a ship self, but not even get a taste until the end. Fuck that. My house now. Tell me, which of the two of us you trust less, Mercury? Oh, sad. This is, I love her so much. Even just my house now is me just muttering to myself, my city now. Cannot believe letting this last summer. But so much time has passed. Right. I haven't decided who I want to smooch with Saturn. I might. Think, Chen. Bear with a hot second. Okay. Let's do Saturn Return. In the strange gravity of the abandoned Daphnis lab, Saturn lies in wait for the Saturn lies in wait for the looming threat of Pluto's mysterious ship. But what are they after, and will they get it? It is like a bunch of quests that I've done before, but fucking around getting different endings. What do you mean I can feel her presence? Please, do not try to sound that cool. let me turn. I'm sorry for the sudden silence. And there we go. Turn this down just a bit. I love the soundtrack so much. I'm so gay. I can feel her presence. Everyone can feel her presence. I can feel it right now. How could you possibly ignore something like that? Shut up. I mean, I can feel it physically. Oh, wait, what, like, how? Like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. It's like I'm spinning upside down and can't stop. You sure you haven't somehow concussed yourself, or given yourself gravity sickness from all the damage you managed to inflict on yourself in the past 12 hours? Yes, and it's on top of all that, and also shut up. String of Pearls is feeding me sensory information on the direct line. I'm a human being with 5 senses, and she's trying to cram a dozen more into me. By direct line, you are in fact talking about the extremely creepy physical interface connection between you and the String of Pearls, correct? Really, really is, right? It's truly incredible how we agree about everything and still feel the opposite about it. Is this why you keep hesitating before giving me intel? Oh. Sorry, grab something quickly. Oh my god. I'm so warm. I'm like overheating to death. Yes, because you're going to do the opposite of what you should do with it, but I also can't not tell you, because you might die. So running support for you is an incredibly anxiety-inducing affair. Must be hard? Thank you for acknowledging it. So you're going to tell me what's after me? You've already figured it out, haven't you? But yes, it's that Cradle's Grace's masterwork. Celestial mechanics traded the knowledge for how to finish String of Pearls in exchange for what they needed to finish the True Macula. It would be pretty funny if they got us this way in the end. Headed directly to the lab. We've already evacuated the capital ship, but you are its highest priority. Should I play bait? If anything, it's more important for you to get back to the native sphere first. In order for us to make contact, we need the String of Pearls. We believe if you hide in the abandoned Daphnis lab, you can use the decaying gravity furnace for cover. That's sensible. But bait sounds like a lot more fun, you know? Really? Oh, come on. Iapetus must think their pilot is a real idiot if she's going to waste her time on a wild goose chase like that. He wouldn't just sacrifice you like that. He would. There must be backups for making contact. Just because I'm the easiest option doesn't mean I'm the only one. He's testing to see if I'm worth investing in, or if I'm just going to get myself killed. Why run? Why not have it out with her? I bet she's thinking the same thing too. Be careful, Saturn. If you can tell what they're thinking, they can tell what you're thinking. Please, if I really could do something like that, they wouldn't have kicked me out the pilots. Then how do you know the pilot's a she? Because boys can't be pilots. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, ruffling the rings of the planet it orbits. It houses the last official laboratory of Earth's decommissioned space program, training grounds of failures like Saturn and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious and scary. No, wait. Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating, and the distances are becoming ambiguous, between past and present, between me and you. The Daphnis lab seems smaller to Saturn now, though obviously not as tiny as it feels to Pluto, and that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. But there's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if this is a good idea. Well, what was a good idea? Saturn doesn't have any ideas. She's just trying to hide, even though there's no place where you cannot be felt by me. Alert. Tidal resonance IFF confirms enemy. Warning, gravitational hazard. Danger. Pressure exceeding safe range. I know, it's extremely exciting. Stop making me so nervous. Supermassive. Small enough to hide in this complex, but with a dual reactor denser than the entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, when Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close, and so powerful that the interior of her cockpit creaked with the pressure, and her head, heart, and eyes welled up with tears. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto. Cool. She must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find? Saturn has no idea. Why do I have the feeling someone's laughing at me? No one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. But Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Someone half-atted me, and I do not know why. Oh well. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute. I'm actually gonna... Well, I can't see what it is, so it can't be that important. I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Oh man, it really would be funny if she was in that monster. Well, now someone is laughing at Saturn. I will not hear my phone go off, and will also not check Discord, because if I tab out this game, the music turns off and it's really annoying. So I'm guessing I have I don't know. It's not one of the like servers on the top of my list, which means it's not one of the ones I check regularly enough to be like, oh, I have to read this immediately. It's probably someone trying to talk to me. It's probably at everyone in another server. Hey, now I know someone's here. I can feel you listening, but I can hear you too, and I can catch you. You're not the only one who can fuck with a narrative. Let's see. We'll do whichever one sounds more fun. Mutually assured destruction sounds more fun. I'm have to do 4 loyal missions and then 2 betrayal missions to each other faction in order to get the ending that I'm going for. So, which is why I'm at the just click what feels fun. It's easiest to catch someone if you don't care that you might get caught yourself. Besides, if you want to drive someone wild, you've got to show them you're worth catching, and that you're good enough to catch them too. The lab is dark. The malfunctioning lights cast an eerie glow. Dying culture, without gravity to hold it together. But she can hear the faint laughter rippling in the gravity, and where it's coming from. When you don't know the controls, smashing all the buttons at once is just as good. Got you. It's a hit. Her claws sink in. They tremble in the pressure. Whatever they've sunk into is bigger than belief. The Croon Macula towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the complex, but it's only a speck compared to how big she feels. Supermassive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust. Incredibly gentle, or she would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying. Oh wow, you got me. No matter what size it appears, in the truest, most real sense of size, the ship is bigger than the moon, than anything Saturn can imagine. String of Pearls quickly flits away, but Croon Macula's grip is on her before she can twitch. And I've got you, Saturn. I really was surprised to see you like this. Cool, right? I got poison now too. Want to see if you're still the top weirdo psychic mutant in space? Oh wow, sounds really cool. But I don't know if you're ready yet. Wanna bet? Sure. My Pluto voice is flip-flopping all over the place. I'm really intrigued to see, especially with Higurashi, how the various voices I do for the different characters change as my voice changes. Fingers crossed, eh, lads? The string of pearl screeches and buckles as the dust ignites and a tiny portion of Pluto's tidal forces slam into her. Warning, gravity hazard. Had enough? You kidding? Okay, we can turn it up. Oh, that sure is insane. Feels like my brain is melting into the universe. You're the one who wanted to show off. You don't have to do that to endear yourself to me. But if you really want to impress me, you're going to have to do better than that. Yeah? You're really still not impressed? Even by this? By what? That does sting. It spreads like a poison even through metal. It jumps like electricity but drips like a liquid. Pink and impossible, and spreading quickly through the Croon Macula's body. So you're not just full of risky bad ideas. That makes me happy. I won't shut you down too hard. Okay, you win. You gonna be good now? Okay. So, what did you want to talk about? As Cradle's Glaciers glittering the psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason, right? Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they? Hope you don't mind falling for the trap. Trap? You? Silly, I know you're more important than that. More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet? I knew this would be fun, and you knew it too. I am absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear, so you don't have to read my mind to roast me about it. I can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever of my juniors turned into such a bad girl. If you really remembered me, you'd remember I wasn't ever good. I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad, do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous, we don't even want to find out what it does? Think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. You gonna stop me then? But you don't want to. Hey, stop, don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come out perfect like you. I love Saturn so much. I love these girls so much. I have to say, one of the reasons I have fallen in love with this game is that even though there are 3 of them, it's not a love triangle. Well, it is a love triangle in the sense that it's, you know, they all get together and again, in the end, spoiler alert, and you basically spend half of your time just flirting with cute girls in space, which is all I've ever wanted to do with my life. But also that there's not really a bad ending per se. Like, it depends. I think it depends on the player which of the endings is better, but none of them are bad. I'm saying, having only done the like main endings, having not done the hidden ending. So not all of us come out perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all. I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart. But now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to. Because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together. I might still make you regret it. Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either. You sure about that? You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive. Oh, I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now? And don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. Not to be an home of sexual, but I'm incredibly gay for Pluto. Subject: Pilot Candidate 007 Mercury interviews. Don't worry, it's just a checkup. Historically unworthy, trustworthy scenario. It's just questions, I promise. It's not really a great way to set my mind at ease. Let's just answer the questions, okay? Wise guy? Fine. Have you experienced a sense of vertigo or loss of balance for the period lasting more than 2 minutes in the last month? No. For me, all day, every day. Have your eating habits changed at all recently? No. No. Mercury, work with me, please. Why? You work with me. If I absolutely promise neither I nor anyone else will do anything at all to stop you from being exactly who you want, or from whatever changes you need, will you at least answer my questions? Sometimes. Maybe. Okay, that's good enough for me. We're just curious if it's a side effect of life in space, or the educational programming of Dr. Nix, or in reference to the behaviour of Iapetus. I love Mercury, my boy. No, that's backwards. Everyone else seems to get to do whatever they want without limits in space. Why is it so weird when I do it? We want to test for the effects of space alone, so self-induced changes have to be controlled for. Don't ask what's in my endocrine system. It's in my endocrine system. Fine, it's testosterone, and I put it there because I wanted it there. Is that enough? Well, I guess that is what I needed to know. If you promise not to ask me about it again, I'll give you all the data I catalogued about the changes. Okay, I get it. You're starting to get it. Stop treating me like a girl, and I know you've really got it. Takes a screenshot, sends it to British doctors. It's testosterone, and it's stuck to my back because I put it there because I want it. Subject: recommended tactics. The string of pearls is configured for specific outward expressions of gravity, tidal forces. The dissonant rhythm of this reactor makes peaceful tidal communication risky and difficult. Be cautious despite the range of penetration the unit is capable of. The electromagnetic conductors have liquefied the electrical energy into a corrupting material, a form of theoretical matter that should be used as a primary engagement tool. As a seductive saboteur model, the unit's functions are inherently insidious. Rather than armour, the plastics are indefinitely malleable and regenerate. It's safer to take damage head-on as an opportunity to infect rather than avoid, but the unit can be contained, restricted, and impeded physically and tidally. Mercury, listen, it's an emergency. I'm sorry about everything, but it's important. You have to tell Commander that I'm getting so laid. I'm logging off. Bye. I was not fooled for even a second that this would be useful. Really? Not even for a second? I no longer experience hope as a concept. You freed me from it. Stop. I'm blushing. What do you want from me, Saturn? Do you know any discreet places to make out in on Aries? Goodbye, Saturn. Also, here's the test output today. Saturn, goodbye. Aren't you going to read me the data analysis? If it is indeed data you were sending this time and not just news. That's rude. I always ask before I send them to you. I don't mind acting as the official art director of Saturn's news since you need it so badly, and it's substantially less tedious than data analysis. But if you were as punctual about sending data as cockpit selfies, I would have a lot more data to report. Why are you so incredulous all the time? You stole the prototype, might I remind you? You can't just continue the field testing as if nothing happened. Why not? Because why would you do anything you didn't want to? What are you planning? Fine. They've been dying for it anyway. That emoji to me is the equivalent of the hee hee cat emoji that I have in Discord. You can't actually see the hee hee on there, but I know it's there and that's what matters. Cool, how'd I do? Okay. This is not bad. It's pretty useful. He typed through tears. Don't rub it in. Can't believe your ship's expanded so much already. What have you been doing with it? I think I have been hinting very clearly now. I instantly regret this question. You're supposed to test the prototype in combat. Same difference. Can't believe we invented a ship designed to get into trouble and didn't think, oh, Saturn is the obvious choice for this. We both know why. You were an even more obvious choice than me. Fuck Iapetus for throwing us both out like trash. Come on, aren't you a little happy to see a little havoc in his perfect garden? I'll be looking forward to you collecting new data. Attaboy. Ugh. I'm the big gay. Should really just start saving over. Rather than doing individual saves, just keep doing the same save. Joyride Killjoy. Weaving in and out of the 6 planets rings, Memorial Foundation's ace, Lunaterra, plays cat and mouse with renegade ship thief Saturn. Ow. Sorry. Please tell me how long you're going to be engaged in this. May I stress again, incredibly dangerous, giant waste of time. Until they start sending someone interesting after me, Mercury. The whole fleet would be after you if you hadn't damaged the entire launch hangar when you stole that. Could they even take me out while I'm flying this thing? No, but it won't stop him from trying. And let me stress this info packet as a gift purely to prevent your ship self from falling into enemy hands, and not an indication of any sort of forgiveness. Let me worry about Iapetus, Mercury. He's going to be a lot less grumpy when I clear the way for us and celestial mechanics to return to the native sphere. I've got it all figured out. You absolutely don't, but okay. Did you read the info packet? Ace Memorial Foundation pilot Lunaterra in hot pursuit with escorts. Planned an attack on the lab, arrived after you escaped. Do not engage under any circumstances. Boring. But this part was good. I don't expect you to control your impulses, but even given that you're just like that, she is the last person you should be trying to fight on purpose. Sounds like I should definitely fight her on purpose, right? I hate you. Oh, come on. The carrier's never going to make it out of the system if I don't. You don't know how to pilot your ship, and she's a veteran since the Cold War. You're going to get yourself captured and humiliated, and the ship trashed. So you're saying there's no downside? Why are you doing this to me? And she's 6'1", huh? Your attention to detail is so useful sometimes. This is why I identify with Saturn so much. I love her. It's just like, okay, I want to get in trouble and I want to be in space. You're using me to cruise? Your taste is so awful and I hate you. Oops, looks like one of our escorts is in range. Sorry, gotta go. Surprise is all I've got, you know? Sign me, big homosexual. I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Having fun dismantling my escorts? With a string of pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arm she's holding, a souvenir of the last of Luna Terra's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. I don't know what to do about... Because the last few playthroughs, I haven't worked out Luna Terra's voice yet. We'll see. It's still sparking and oozing, and Saturn wishes the ship had a mouth so she could suck it out like crabmeat. Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many mysteries the manual doesn't explain, and Saturn is still learning them. Though I suppose Europa's learnt a lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Oh really? Hey, that's really interesting. Mind telling me more? Oh, she's a hacker too. How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this comm frequency. You flatter me. But hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about the girls who can't control themselves. I really want to hear more. It means back up that talk first. Or can you land a hit off the comms? Luna Terra's gravitational field focuses to a single point. Luna Terra isn't budging. She has been through much worse, and so has the ship, followed always by a thin trail from a bleeding wound she could never completely repair. The Mare Crisium is over 2 decades old, but Saturn can't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished. The archetypal prototype for all other ship cells, still going after all these years. Still furiously untouchable. The string of pearls hasn't gone down, no matter how much she's been rammed with that spear, but she hasn't even nicked Luna Terra's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride. But you can't get one hit in? Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. Luna Terra puts a stake of solid light through the string of pearl's leg, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. It doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin smouldering and reforming around the wound immediately. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. But she is trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of that always bleeding ship. It's a pretty amazing ship. Think it'll last? Either you're fighting just for fun because you're that reckless, or you're caught in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet. And you beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. That's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn is suddenly closer than she logically could be, claws bubbling, but Luna Terra effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. The containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. Doesn't seem to have stopped you that much. Right? It was so rude of them to try and stop me. Seems cruel to take it away when we're having so much fun with it. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows the Memorial Foundation's perfect days. But do I know you? So I do, don't I? Let me out of this thing and I'll tell you. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I can promise it'll be more fun. You're asking for me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back and do that instead? What, you won't? The legendary pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation, then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for, can't be opposed to a rebel fooling around with the enemy. Boy howdy, is she not? I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? It's more fun if they do, and Saturn gets embarrassed. Never forgotten, every story told. How was that? Did it hurt? It's just weird. It's weirder that it doesn't hurt. It's easier for Luna Terra to cut through the malleable flesh of the string of pearls directly than untangle her from the wrapper. Their flesh reforms quickly, so she has to work patiently. String of pearls might be impossible to destroy. Even if Saturn can't land a hit, Luna Terra feels like somehow she's the one who got lucky. If this just hurt, you'd never be able to fight. If just this hurt, you'd never be able to fight. Your brain is giving you more nuanced information. You're very sensitive. Lucky. You'll get used to it. If you are serious about next time, think of yourself as something a little bigger. I like that. Being big. I'm glad I trusted you. Stop shaking then. Or ask me to go easier. Just a little easier? Of course. Also love that every single piece of dialogue in this game absolutely sounds like a double entendre if you're trying. And boy howdy do I ever try. Of course. Do you remember me yet? I thought you'd remember the names of at least some of the girls you've made out with in supply closets. Your face. Just kidding. But sorry, it was worth it. You weren't kidding about still being dangerous. Every pilot knows you, by both of your reputations. You're definitely Saturn, because no one hated me as much as you. So now I'm curious why you don't anymore. If I tell you, you owe me extra, so save it for the next time you catch me. Well, I just have to catch you again quick. All free. Now get out before someone catches us. Oops. Okay. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. We're like the stringy inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does. Graces is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked. The terraforming engines are broken. The gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship sails can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NESAS fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left and why we can't get them out. What, why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die in a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? I feel like that's Europa. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just a start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Hang on, I'm gonna sneeze. Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on Earth is in fact not a human. It's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No difference of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. It's warning on Aries, but what's time and space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Cradles, Graces, and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against evading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Day 3. S-route corruption. Mission parameters not detected. Mission results needed for gravitational slingshot missions. Navigation shortlist not found. Manual inject mission results.txt. Mission parameters found. All results perfect and amazing. Wow, thank you, Sam. Flight path generating. Fleet path, Kronos orbit, refuel on planet Aries, Lagrange colony pass, classified operation, Earth's moon. New standing orders coming in. Aries, guards to STL mechanics fleet refueling on Aries oxygen ocean. Aries, stay out of trouble and do not engage Memorial Foundation troops patrolling in immediate vicinity. Accept orders? No. Error. Cannot proceed. Manual inject. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Aries. Subject. Ori. Oh my god, sorry for getting back to you so late, but I was in the middle of a meeting. My poem buzzed so much the director asked me if I needed to take a call. I swear you do this on purpose. I don't even think you really need feedback on your needs that quickly, even though yes, they're really important to me, and I can't stop thinking about them or getting any of my work done, and my presentation suffered greatly from my lack of focus. I expect you're prepared for a little payback, and after I sent you my schedule so this wouldn't happen again, even. Hey, you wouldn't have asked me for my meetings time so that you could send those to me at the worst possible time, would you? I already know the answer to that, so why don't you tell me this? Why can I never get enough of you? Ah, big guy. Be careful today. I'm never careful any day, so I'm serious this time. The apparatus is in the field today. I don't know where he's fighting, but you should be careful. Jeez, you worry too much. Obviously, because you give me so much to worry about. I mean, are you really worried? His ship's gulf is actually not that scary. Not as scary as mine. As if that was a thing I was worried about. What, then? Oh, God, I'm not even thinking about letting our mutual ex tux me. I won't even fight him. I'll curve him the second his ties so much tremble against my plating. Why would you worry I don't even slightly hate him less than you do? There is no possible way you hate him more than I do, but that's not the issue. That's never the issue with him. Hating him hasn't made him any easier to deal with. We were kids, though. We're older and wiser now. Now. At least you are, Mercury. Hardly. Or I wouldn't be telling you. You remember how he'd just casually linger his fingers a second too long on your shoulder? In front of everyone? Oh, it was so gross. It was so gross. And I loved the attention. Every time. Made me so smug. I loved it. It was gross. I hate him. Do you love yourself enough not to fall for it again? I definitely hate him enough not to fall for it again. Do you? No, obviously. I'm still in celestial mechanics, so how do you think I feel? You're soaring, you got a stupid idiot who loves you, and you get to do research, and you never have to deal with him again. And with his ship self, we'll have the future. And no matter what, I'll make sure he won't. God bless you, Sam. Okay, let's do this one. 400mm kiss. Memorial Foundation deploys a Saturn sniper to stop escape and resupply routes to the resting Celestial Mechanics fleet. All Saturn needs to do is stay out of trouble. But what's the chance of that? No, go ahead, you take your time. We're not dying yet or anything. You know, fighting officially on Ares is a lot less fun than I was promised it would be. It's real work, son. Thought that's what all of that getting back on our good side was all about. They shouldn't have done such a good job of hiding in the Oxygen Ocean then. You could maybe stage an attack from the Olympus ruins, but not even Cradle's Graces is precious enough to defend them. Memorial Foundation is thorough enough to watch over it. Of course, only they would be that annoying. There's recent activity there, and they want an investigation. They're just being paranoid. That's a stupid plan, and they're only sending someone there to waste their time chancing we're done. Or baiting us. Oh my god, hiccups. Would they really send the ace if that was the case? Wait, that old Memorial Foundation warhorse, you mean? Why don't you tell me the most important part first? Coordinates now, please. Saturn, I really hope you're not actually. Yeah, I'm feeling like, you know, Commander's right, actually. That area needs some really thorough investigation. Just to be sure. Once with a sudden enthusiasm, it's really not. No, wait, it's exactly like you. When you said you fought off the Maricrisian pilot, what were you actually doing? I don't know what you're talking about, Mercury. I was so dutiful and brought this back in one piece, so that means I won, so don't worry about it. Why are you like this? I do love that Sun gets no-scoped by Lunaterra. But this is... We're going full gay here, lads. The balance shifts because Saturn moved and Lunaterra couldn't. Got you. She does. Saturn is as good as already down, but so is Lunaterra. Got you too. Pure spite got Saturn this far, and it'll get her even further. She takes aim and fires. Lunaterra, perfectly still for the perfect shot, is perfectly unable to get out of the way in time. Saturn's string of pearls is laid out flat on her back, creaking and twitching, and Lunaterra's Maricrisium falls from a sniper's knot. Oh my god, I've forgotten how to speak. Saturn's string of pearls is laid out flat on her back, creaking and twitching, and Lunaterra's Maricrisium falls from a sniper's spot like a burning star. Lunaterra wakes up first, but a flight unit is shot. It's hard to hide a ship that can't fly in the city, but the Maricrisium is full of unfair tricks. Shooting her down is just the beginning. You have to catch her next. That's right with Saturn. She's at her best when everyone is in the dirt. When she wakes up, she's ready. She might be in worse shape than Lunaterra, but her worst shape is her best. String of Pearls skirts along the half-constructed city with the shape of ruins and the pristine finish of plastic toys still in their boxes, looking for the hole Lunaterra's nestled in, and dodging her shots of protest. Reboot took longer than I thought, but ready or not, here I come. Hey, come out, come out, come out! You almost got me the last time you poked your head out to shoot. Try again. Ah, come on. I'm not babbling to trick you or anything. I'm just having a great time here. I'd love it if you'd stop making me feel like I'm just talking to myself. Can hear you just fine, Sam. What, this isn't exciting enough? I guess that's why you're the ace pilot, LT. I need to have you on the ropes to taunt you and dodge at the same time. An ear-splitting crash, impossible to tell which direction the shot came from. The cover around Saturn explodes. I'm an ace because I keep my priorities straight. That's not what I've heard. What have you heard? That keeping your priorities straight is the thing you're worst at. That it's pretty much your most obvious weak point. Maybe they don't know what my priorities are. Is getting shot down by an idiot with no combat experience high on your priority list? The building next to Saturn explodes. Is missing all the time high on your priority list? You really are a brat. Is getting harassed constantly by flirtatious brats high on your priority list? Really on your toes today. Can't hit you with anything. Yeah, I'm having fun too. What a mess. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. All having so much fun. I'm glad you think so. It's a funny kind of date, if you put it that way. If this fighting is just play fighting, then keep playing with me. You should be careful though. You never know what I might try next. I got so many plans for dragging you out into the sun. Like what? Are they working on me? Of course. Stop underestimating me. I'm executing several plans as we speak. You're not all ready, Lena Terra. I'm not giving you any way out. Not going to at least give me a hint? I'm at a disadvantage here. Can't trick me into giving it all away. But maybe you're right. Maybe I should be generous and let you know just a hint about one plan. You're generous. You should know this, but winning isn't my highest priority. Won't mean that I'm easy though. Hey, we do think alike. At least on the first half of that. If you love winning, the stalemate of this whole conflict should bore you to tears. All that's left in space are second choice pilots who suck at things like winning, no matter how good they are. I'm the second choice, but I'm the pilot that's here right now, and no one else would have thought of the plan that I did. Oh? I'm a second choice too, or I wouldn't be here. It's that great a plan? Really? You? Oh, it's not a good plan, it's just that no one else would do it, because I'd have to be a freak to try and catch you on foot. First choice would never have been sent to space in the first place. That does sound like a crazy plan to me. What would you even do if you found me, assuming I'm standing still? I know it sounds like I'm showing off, but I couldn't beat you in a fair fight, so anything else is in my favour, right? Maybe it's the only way around that ghost ship of yours, and how much of a genius you are. I can track any ship that I'd hit once. I also have ways of being hidden so that you can never find me. You're right. But you haven't used them. Maybe not. Also, did you know that your Maricrosium has a manual bypass for opening the cockpit? Yes? Oh good, but I'll knock anyway. The gentle hiss of pressure and the cockpit opens. Hi. You look a little different. Not nearly so smug. And you look a lot different. I remember you now. You're such a good girl, I never would have thought that was you. You're smiling, Luna Terra. Did something good just happen? You must really trust me to come unarmed. Why would I need to be? I win. I'd say I'm pretty dangerous, just like this. You think of everything. Never mind. You do look infuriatingly smug for someone I just beat. Step away from the controls. Sure. I'm not laughing at you. I'm impressed. You know, even still, even in a fake fight you have no respect for, no one takes me this seriously. I'm the Memorial Foundation ace, but just by default, after the good ones left. So I don't mind losing to you, since you think I'm so cool. Luna Terra kneels by the controls, hands up. They're still in reach. Saturn climbs the open hatch. No sudden movements, and I don't think you're cool. What do you want now? My ship? Me? They're both useless. I'll decide that. I don't need your ship out of commission. I'm going to be much cooler than you very soon, and then I'll beat you sort of fair and square, but maybe I should reprogram the ship to be absolutely sure. Luna Terra whips around so fast, Saturn's pinned down on the cockpit seat before she can tell how it happened. Sorry, but touching there isn't allowed. So, then where is touching allowed? You are absolutely much more dangerous without a gun. LT's hand is on Saturn's collar, and her other arm on Saturn's wrist. Saturn slips her free hand down LT's arm. So how about here? That's fine. What about here? I won't stop you. You don't mind if I touch your face, but you won't let me touch your ship? Some places on the ship are fine. Some places on me are fine. Which do you want to know right now? Is this... Damn it. So how's unbuttoning my shirt going? It's harder than it looks at that angle with just one hand, huh? Just make out with me, you heinous bitch. Lunaterra had this idea, but instead she forgets it. She finds she's let her grip go slack, and Saturn's nearly leapt out of the chair to kiss her. That thought was a little surprising, but her body made the right call, in the moments in between when she was too busy overthinking it. Saturn seems a little mad about the smug face Lunaterra is making, and bites Lunaterra's lip as they kiss. Doesn't encourage her to stop being like that. This is absolutely insane. You kidding? What could possibly be a better use of your time? Don't tell me duty is why you're fighting out here, or you would have stopped me before I opened the hatch. You're not just here for fun. You're not doing this just because there's no point, and you're killing time before the war collapses one way or another. Obviously. I can be sure and still make out with you. Would it disappoint you if I wasn't? Oh, don't make that face. I can tell it would. That's good though. I feel the same way. I wouldn't have let you flirt if that's just all you were. How can you be sure? Looks like I know something you don't. Even if it's just one thing. I'm always the last to know. You always make it seem like you know what you're doing. Just acting on instinct. My body knows what to do. Then you should be asking her. She'll know just what to do. Fun fact, lads, did you know that I'm extremely gay? I love this game a lot. Truly, it's astonishing I haven't started crying yet. Possibly it's because I'm too warm and too dehydrated. But the last 2 times I've been playing this, I was immediately like, breaking down into floods of tears. It's my best kept secret, insert sarcasm here. Subject. Police are coming to arrest me for video game crimes. Annual Academy student rating. I won't rate them, they're still learning. Given this, Halamedia is underperforming based on the expectations that you set out for her. Right? I told you the projections were completely divorced from reality, repeatedly, for this very reason. The authority she may have wielded on Earth means nothing up here. I should add, because I know you'll forget it as early as it's convenient, but she's performing very highly compared to her peer group in a specific area that you seem to consider so highly. Yes, even compared to your Generation 1 aces. She has the potential to surpass them, so stop asking if she has surpassed the top one yet. I prefer to keep those two as separate as possible for interpersonal reasons. Halamedia is too competitive and easily impressed not to make me worry about placing her in close contact with the number 1 ace. Your attempt to put the two in the same room has not gone unnoticed by me. Do you just love drama, Iapetus, or is there something else you believe is more important than the health of our pilots? There we go. Subject. Nick's final resignation. In these moments, nothing is more painful than being patronised, but you couldn't even spare me that. I can't understand why you thought me to be that naive, though. I really did know. They thought a world where the children were together and free and could write their own future sounded wonderful. We didn't even get close for them to understand that's not what they wanted. I knew it from the start. I regret only that I didn't get further before they noticed. Right? Mental health, maybe not, but I'm assuming number 1 ace is Lunaterra, and if I remember correctly, the two were together at one point, so... You're asking for my resignation, but there's nowhere else for me to go, and there's nowhere else for those children to go either. I won't let you have them, and I won't let you crush them back to their earthly shapes. What you were asking instead is for me to declare war, so I will do so, and I'll see if Earth's tides are truly powerful enough to crush the new humanity you rejected. Ugh, losing the ability to speak English. The captain told me to thank you for the data stream. You're very welcome. Do you have any results for me? Yes, I'll encrypt them. TY, you're the best. Guess there's no point in asking what you want them for? Hee hee. How afraid should I be? Just trying to fill our mission, Mercury. You know that. I'm going to tell him you're as inscrutable and petulant as ever. Ah, please, I don't want your hubby to hate me. Why do you always call Ganymede the captain anyway, love? Because some of us have a sense of discretion. Ah, Captain's pet is so well behaved. You're one to talk, Sam. You're going to end up at the pound one of these days if you go through any more superior officers. No, it's cute you both tidily lock that quick. You're making all the lesbians jealous. Then act like it, Sam. and I will not apologise for locking it down. I've had my fill of being a pet. I don't really want to be a pet either. Maybe you are learning to love yourself. I'd like to be a toy. That's even worse. No, it's better. Plastic and metal can be moulded into any kind of shape. You can smooth over and change whatever you want. You only have to accept the interface you're designed for. Toy never gets to do anything, just sits there looking pretty. Mercury, what do you think I want? Don't you love how our ship cells evoke so much? Just by being plastic in the silhouette of a human. These beam weapons are my fingertips. This chassis is my tits, best line ever. But they're also beam weapons and impenetrable chassis. They can shred the plastic all they want, but they can't touch me. Plastic can't get hurt. But you still can be, don't forget. People fawn over objects. They worship them. I want to be the product they obsess over. Thought you were tired of getting thrown away. I am not for individual retail sale. Look, don't touch. One of a kind, not sold in stores. Mercury being like, I've had enough of this. God. Saturn is such a good... I feel like I just keep harping on about this, but she has such a good character. Deep dive. The oxygen ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares, and it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. But deep down, something is reaching up for them. I have some water because I'm dying. I want to do the CM for this one, because I'll do the Cradle's Graces next time around. I'm so, hate, like, it's fucking midway through April and I cannot believe that it's this warm already. I am going to die. I think I'm just not going to leave the house for the next 6 months, regardless of whether or not I'm vaccinated, because it's too warm and I hate the sunshine, because I am a vampire. At least the new fan that I got is quiet enough that I don't think you can hear it over the mic. Or at least possibly, like, not any more than there's already, like, background noise just by sort of the fact of living in a city. And next to some busy roads. Sam, what are you doing? Disabling all comms and diving supports and... Oh, you're still here? I thought I cut this channel too. Well, I should go ahead and shut it. Don't you dare cut me off. You can listen if you promise not to whine or stop me. I will do no such thing, and you cannot make a deal with me. I'm simply stating a fact, not making an argument. Just why, Saturn? Why are you such an incorrigible, petulant nightmare? After you were probationally forgiven for doing a very good job not getting stringer pulse ruined or captured, and Command even decided to give you the job of sparking the gravity engine that will take our fleet back to the native sphere, I would think you wouldn't be so into pressing your luck recklessly. But everyone except for you is so annoying. They're annoying because whatever is causing the tidal interference from the bottom of the oxygen ocean is almost certainly that Cradle's Graces weapon, and they have no reason to believe you're going to be loyal. Every single second of the day you are horrid and undisciplined, and your brief periods of obedience only seem to exist to throw everyone off later. I mean, if you want me to cover up for you, you have to pay along a little. Why are you like this? Years of encouragement and grooming followed by abandonment and neglect. You know that. Celestial mechanics, but not with Iapetus in charge. That's my faction. Same as you. And same for that pilot you're after too. Is that why? In a different way. But I think so. Enemy or not, I want to talk. I think I'm getting somewhere. And I'm not going to get to talk if you all are interfering. What if she doesn't want to just talk? Then you'll really appreciate me cutting the cables before she pulls all of you down there with me. Why is it so important anyway? You'll really jeopardize the whole operation for that? What, you don't think I have my own cunning master plan? It's way better than his. Supposedly nothing can stop the Dream Macula. Is it better to find out if that's true sooner rather... Isn't it better to find out if that's true sooner rather than later? Fight her or talk, which is it? How are they any different? Anyway, don't worry when the connection accidentally breaks. I'll be fine, promise. And you will be too. Share a secret moment, deep down. It's time for one of my favourite songs in the soundtrack. My favourite actual one is Silly Game and Electrotoxin, but this song, which is Oxygen Ocean, is also very, very good. This game has like one of the best soundtracks ever, in my opinion. Actually, no, I don't have the tab open. After I finish this playthrough, I will put a link and I'll probably put it in Discord as well, because I cannot emphasize enough how much I love the soundtrack to this game. The balance shifts because Pluto tugs and Saturn yields. The Oxygen Ocean is a peaceful place because everything about it destroys everything else. You can enjoy complete privacy under the curtain of the oxygen stream, drink all the fuel and air you want, and no vessel can survive the temperature and pressure conditions below. You can float as long as you want, or until your hull turns to brittle and breaks, or your organic compounds oxidize and explode. Celestial mechanics has covered their wayward pilot's machine in temporary armor layers to seal out the unknown interference of gravity and seeping oxygen. The additional temporary armor layers might not be necessary, but they also might be. The Celestial Mechanics fleet tenders lower the string of pearls in slowly, just to make absolutely sure. Feels wonderfully cold, like a spare blanket taken from the attic in winter. Pluto is there, deep, deep down, and when Saturn slips in, she feels the ripples, as if they were at opposite ends of the same, perfectly still pool. The feeling is wonderful. Saturn's surprised that's true. How do you know that? Wait, who is you? How do I know what? Saturn, who are you talking to? We're asking for confirmation to lower you. Yeah, I've been ready. Sorry, I got distracted. You must be if you're apologizing. There's someone down there. She's speaking to me. No, she's trying to eat me alive. Maybe it's hard to tell the difference. Awesome. It's familiar. I'm so stoked. Take me down. The ocean boils wherever she touches it, even with the external equipment. There's no way to rely on sight, and the paramagnetic influence is too erratic for senses to process. She can only feel her way, for both of them. The cable to your left is extremely important. It's the only way we have of communicating and monitoring your situation. Aha! So you need to be extremely careful with it. You listening? Yes, but not you. Shh. There's definitely someone here. Lower me. It's reaching out. Saturn feels funny. Something's not quite right. Like something's watching her. It's like someone's watching me. But it's also not like someone's watching me. It's like something's watching her, but something isn't watching her. It's touching me. Something is touching Saturn. Its hands see her, and they also speak. Saying something. The ocean ripples with boredom. It's really boring down here. But what else is Pluto going to do? Some girls get stuck with the worst jobs. But I've got to do it. With nothing to do but send insinuations through the narration. So are you coming or what? I've got her again. Tidal spike detected. Mass gravity alert. Lower me further. Saturn, we're pulling you out. Oh, not just yet. Hi, Saturn. Hi, Mercury. Sorry, I'm borrowing her for a little bit. Ugh, it's a noise. Okay, Oro, take care. Have a good night. I hope you have a good one. God, I would also just to say I recommend this game because I love it so much. It is all I have been thinking about pretty much for the last several weeks, and it is incredibly good. So, take care. Saturn's cockpit floods with alarm lights of an imminent high-intensity gravity event, but it's too late. A string of pearls discharges its electromagnetic field and delicately breaks off the winch. Saturn, what are you? The string of pearls cleanly slices off the left communication wire and the pulley system. The silence of the oxygen ocean reminds her of a sensory deprivation tank. What a good girl. Hey, don't praise me like that. I wanted to speak to you again. Damn it, cut both wires. Even ship-to-ship comms are down. Saturn, can you hear me? Would you hear me if I spoke with the ship? It's been such a long time since anyone could hear it. Pluto's tidal reactor pulses slowly. The thrum feels like it's coming from everywhere. Oh, I get it. You want to talk with gravity? Well, I'm not some miracle child, even though they tried very hard to make me as good as you. Saturn's reactor, an anxious little ball, is getting just so fed up with this. It's frustrating not to be understood. Would you know what that's like? You don't know how much I know, but I believe in you. If Saturn moves too much, she might forget what direction is up. The sensory deprivation of the ocean takes everything away, but she has to remember that's not true. I don't believe you, but I'm trying. Oh, she's trying. Of course I'm trying. Come on, where am I? I hate people playing hard to get. I believe in you, but you gotta work for it. Can't do it. Sorry, but I'm cheating. The string of pearls electrotoxin shoots through the ocean. Like a bolt of lightning, it reaches out because it's attracted to you. It seeks the path of least resistance, looking for something that wants to respond. What it really does is run along the boundaries, theoretical and real. There's a place where the boundary between one thing and another is weakest, and it runs along the boundary until it finds it and connects the two. Why is she doing that? Oh, it's what you're used to. Good at seeing weak spots. I've got a lot. Can you find them? You can do if you try. Maybe you need a little push. It's like there's nothing. Not a single crack. Don't say you're not perfect. Don't make me do all the work. The pressure is overwhelming, but it's overwhelming for Pluto too. The true macula is like a little star, gushing matter and condensing it into an engine of light over and over. It was moulded after a theory of the Big Bang, after all, made a secret on the planet Hades on the boundary between what is human and what is not. It's a fragile boundary. You can touch it, but be careful. This takes me back. Which is not fucking fair. Are you doing that on purpose? Always taking me back to unpleasant pasts? Is it taking you back? Sorry, but we can't help it. It's the first thing beneath our surface. It's hard for me too. Take Saturn back to our first implant series, when they took the most special children they could find and tried to cheat them into being even more special. Bypass all the work and care that had gone into the third generation pilots and kick them directly into humanity's next stage. Cheating, you should know, felt good. It felt wrong in a good way. It felt good in a way that felt obscene. It felt bad, like she was getting more than she deserved. They chose her, but she felt like she played a trick on them, like she lied and got candy for it. They knew there was nothing special about her, and they gave her the most special thing. They knew how special it was, and how much she didn't earn it. They would have given it to someone else. But they didn't. Even when they threw her away, she never forgot how that felt. Why is it always like this? Baby. Takes Pluto back to when she was learning how to be a person. In space, they decided she would start over, without assumptions. Humanity would be protected by the most human children they could make. No matter how badly she did, no matter how much she wasn't up to how perfect they wanted, they never gave up on her. That was the worst part. She wished so much they would give up. It was so hard. She just wanted to be the mess she really was, and they wouldn't let her. She knew with her whole heart what she was supposed to be. She had it memorized, and she could never make it leave her body, become the thing she did and the person she was. They let her be whatever she wanted, and she wasn't strong and smart and pretty enough to be it. Both of them remember, reaching through the wall to the one on the other side, wishing so hard to hold hands it feels like you really are. Your two pebbles dropped in the pond, but your ripples touching are enough. No one knows, and even the two of you almost don't. Never say it out loud. Never think it too loud. Sounds so sad when you put it like that. Why, don't show me things to stop making me jealous. You got me. You're touching me. I can hear you through the contact link. You got me that good, and that's what you have to say? You're the one who got me. You did it. You found me. You're clever. It's amazing. You don't need to flatter me. Won't feel better. I'm not. You better. I promise. Why am I so scared and you're so not? That's just me. Sorry I'm like this. Well, you can flatter me a little. You're a little needy, huh? Didn't you say I just had you? You do. You can do whatever you want now. Why did you do this? You came after me. So it's only fair that I came after you. Don't say it's only fair. Say I'm amazing and important and you came after me specifically. Totally not needy, huh? Give me a better answer. I want to know why it's me. I don't have one. There are so few of us left, I've got to cling to everyone. But I love that you're scared and you believe anyway. I think you're one of the only people who can make something change. And there's no time left. Is that a proposal? To join your side? Yeah. What if I refuse? Then give a good reason for me to join you. You're even more impulsive than me. You can start to see why I fight, can't you? The way I'm starting to see why you do. Show me something important, and I'll be yours too. But you're definitely not going to go quietly, are you? No. If I let you go, would you promise not to crush yourself and me and literally everything? This time, you mean? Yeah, I think I can do that. Say hi to Mercury for me. I'll see you again soon, baby. God, Pluto. All of these girls are so good. September 12th, 1963. That's when the first and last artificial colony of the Natosphere was completed, in a tranquil ball of stable gravity at Lagrange Point 5. As the front line against existential threats, a training facility for a generation of humans adapted to fight in space. As a colony environment with the life, gravity, and culture necessary for human beings to live, thrive, die, and be born. With the hope that peace on Earth would reign if we won this war in heaven. Without pressure, water boils off our tongues and we dissolve into component parts. Without culture, we forget the shapes we're supposed to have and turn inside out into something else. Out of necessity, we created a pressurized environment, exerting enough gravitational pressure to maintain cohesion, of all senses, in space, a ship self to ferry us through the world. They function only in places where the gravity of humans is too light to sustain existence. It was doomed from the start. Of course they were jealous of the humans the Earth no longer wanted, flying on zero-G wings. July 29th, 1958. That's when the Memorial Foundation International Executive Committee was granted international authority in the spirit of unified human peace and the verified presence of an existential threat outside of the solar system to establish a cultural, military, and scientific response to existential threats. No longer confined to Earth, a growing natosphere where our gravity reigns forever, safety, research, and expansion. The three pillars of the Memorial Foundation's space branch will protect Earth from without as it has from within. Free from the old world's gravity, it would be possible to advance science, art, and culture without restraint and join hands, all of Earth finally unified. For Memorial Foundation, protecting humans from other humans through peace on Earth and protecting humans from everything else through war in heaven would fulfill both of our agendas simultaneously. We really, foolishly, decided we could do better. There are two errors to this approach. The first is that to do better in heaven is meaningless if it cannot be exported to Earth. The space program was never rejected by the surface. It simply didn't have enough relevance to sustain interest. The second error is the intrinsic error of the Memorial Foundation. The existential threat is intrinsic to humanity. You can fight it, but you cannot cut it out. The designation of alien is required by humans. We cannot trick an existential threat into a convenient manifestation. As it has always been, only humans can fulfill the criteria to be alien. January 2nd, 1980. That's when they blew up the Lagrange colony. It was a real shame. It was a wet green and very peaceful place. And now it's a very cold, green, wet, and very unsettling place. It's where we did a lot of legitimately incredible things, like create sustainable tidal reactors, new culture, experiment with human bodies and human development, manufacture self-sufficient alter egos for space exploration, and did everything other than successfully combat the unknowable existential threat. Earth and the Memorial Foundation surface considers that a failure, but in truth, they're just not trying hard enough. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. Humans cannot make whatever they imagine come true. Through imagining, humans chart out what is true. They invent with human effort which exists. If an existential threat doesn't exist, we just have to make one. But of course it doesn't work like that. Nothing could be more difficult than creating something alien. Our only reference points are human, so the idea of something alien is unimaginable, because we cannot imagine outside of those terms. There's a certain degree of misunderstanding needed for humans to successfully classify something as alien. But before they blew it up, we got very close. Day 5. Core reformatting 67% complete. Awaiting flight path, input, manual extract, CM flight path. Forcibly extracting coordinates, coordinates received. Flight path passes through former pilot training school, Lagrange colony. Receiving new mission assignments. Error, blocked from ship cell side. Manual inject/scan virus. Manual inject/extract. 3 viruses detected and deleted. You have new mission assignments. Colony, reclaim tidal reactor from colony core before Memorial Foundation. Colony, prevent theft of entire colony by Cradle's Graces. Accept orders? On the Mao. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Lagrange colony. Subject, Nick's resignation to. Nix, you fundamentally misunderstood the purpose of pursuing the dream of space. I never sought to correct you. After all of the great things you accomplished are the result of that misunderstanding. You believed that your dream, so universally loved, was loved because we wanted it to come true. That was not the case, of course, even though I think the Memorial Foundation truly believed they wanted the same as you. But as the tides of Earth turned, they realised in their own hearts that they are not the forefront of humanity's change, but slaves to its whims. To protect human culture means to always be at its beck and call, no matter what it becomes. And their dream is one of overwhelming power that will unlock the last mysteries and cement our authority forever. What your children achieved with freedom from gravity, we will have the power to determine on our own. I hope you can understand the depths of my gratitude to you for exploring these ideas, that they might one day belong to us. Subject, Academy Student Research Records, Mercury. Of all the Generation 3 pilots, Mercury is far and away the one best suited to actually be a pilot, to the degree of be terrified of giving that position to any other one of the Iapetus's nightmare brats. So there's absolutely no chance that he'll be assigned, of course. He really is trying to maximise. What I want to impress, however, is that Mercury is still someone Iapetus chose personally for the pilot role when he served himself during the Cold War, alongside the current second-tier candidate, Saturn. Mercury used to be a lot different, which is obvious. A lot of our pilots used to be a lot different, for reasons only space can explain. I think reducing it to Mercury's personal stake is an incomplete reading, as it would be for any other pilots in celestial mechanics. Some of them even know exactly what they're doing. Mercury, most of all. I don't think he has petulant grudges against humanity. He's just very critical. Don't make it sound like I hate following command any less than you. Don't worry, I would never doubt that. Hey, Mercury, why are you still with celestial mechanics? Why you? If you still are, that is. You're the one who can choose. Mercury, oh, don't. If you hadn't hijacked String of Pearls, you'd be here like me, waiting. To see if it's true that we can be what comes after being human. I don't want that for you. I certainly don't trust or believe in celestial mechanics or Iapetus, but wasn't that the worst part? Even after he decided we weren't good enough to be the chosen pilots, neither of us left. He knew we wouldn't leave because we already wanted it too much. Do you still want that more than anything else? I don't know. I know what I don't want, and it's to have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for what? Coming to space, going to the Academy, never having had a chance to fly in the Cold War, not having a say either way, falling stupidly for the worst man alive. I'm counting on you, Saturn, to give me something better than just the same Earth we left. You never have to worry about that. I have only the highest ambitions for us. Those girls you're flirting with better have a decent future for us, that's all that I'm saying. Sure, fine, okay. Only if it's a really good one. If nothing else, I'll make sure that he doesn't get the future he wanted. Any future but the future he wants is good. Give me and Ganymede a good place there, wherever and whenever it is. Oh, just gaze in space, looking out for each other. Oh. We'd love to see it. Oh god, my hand's completely gone to sleep. Becoming stars. The Lagrange colony is an uninhabitable husk, but Cradle's Graces still clings to it, quite literally. Pluto's dream might collapse under its own weight, or crush Saturn under it. The whole colony? So refreshing to see you surprised for once, Saturn. I'm soaking it in. Mercury, but seriously? He wants me to stop Cradle's Graces from taking the entire colony out to Lagrange Point? Why would they do that? Why would we care enough to stop them from trying? Colony should just rot. It's over. There's nothing left there. Cradle's Graces want those memories to live again. We need to discard Earth completely and start something new. It's an anchor pulling us back home. The success of opening the gravity well on the moon will depend completely on how much is holding us down. Even weak gravity like that. That's more than just stopping her then. You want me to destroy the colony? That's the mission, yes. Not that I'm not the greatest, but isn't that basically impossible for me? It's huge. There are smaller moons. Do your best, then. The less memories, the better. I thought you didn't have any problems, that the colony should just rot. It's a funny joke. We both went through the same shit, don't ask me that. Every happy memory is made retroactively disgusting by the sort of person Iapetus turned out to be. I hate him so much. I'll never get over how much. Saturn. Yes, Mercury? Then why are you still pretending to be with celestial mechanics? Why are you doing this, is the real question, Mercury. You know him like I do, so why are you still here? I apparently have enough power to destroy a colony, and I can ditch him whenever I want. Leave Celestial Mechanics. Take Ganymede. I'll protect you. I'll make sure there's a good future in the end. You absolutely will not be fine if I leave. Of course I don't trust him at all, but he wants what I want. It's what you want too. I can't trust him on anything else, but I can trust him on that. Even if he's just doing this for his own gain, with some other agenda in mind, he's truly going to give us this. Disgusting. That's what I fell for, so stop reminding me. That's why I trust you too, of course. Even though I shouldn't. I know you won't accept anything less than what you want. If you can get even half of that, it'll be more than enough for me. Battle in narrative space for each other. And make out. Saturn rushes in because Pluto is ready for this kind of fight. Oh, this is also a very good song. Every song on the soundtrack is amazing and I love them all. Saturn rushes in because Pluto is ready for this kind of fight. This is not what I was expecting. Like, you're kidding, right? No, Pluto isn't joking. The farthest thing. The swirl of cosmic nebula dust that completely obscures the colony in Pluto's warm embrace has no punchline. Only insofar as it's true that Pluto is so strong it's funny. The colony no longer resembles Earth. Now it's a gas giant, or maybe a star waiting to be born. Whatever the case, even though it's certainly much too late to do anything about it, there's an invitation from inside. Just come and try. You must think I'm really dumb. Or you must have a lot of faith in me, in which case you're really dumb. It could be Saturn's perfect opportunity, if she plays her cards right. Pluto's putting everything she has and more at just attempting to move the colony. If Saturn can find her, she'll be helpless. And how am I supposed to do that, with you filling up the whole universe? Your story is everywhere, pulling at everything. How am I supposed to compete with gravity so strong even the narrative of space-time is bending? Oh, hi there, Saturn. Are you just passing through? Hi. Fancy meeting you here. How did you know it was me? Weird to find you in the middle of an inconceivable cosmic cloud only you could create. I know, what a coincidence. I sort of been ordered to fire on anyone in it there. I think this might make things awkward if you try to get closer. You could at least pretend to be a little afraid of me. I am, just a little. But even if I should be, I'm glad to see you. I hope that's not a lie. On either part. It isn't. I know you're dangerous and very special, and you wouldn't be here if you couldn't stop me. Even if you're not quite ready for how hard that will be. I'm very impressed that you didn't decide to sneak up on me while I was thinking that. It would have been a good chance. You may be having second thoughts. I was hoping I could convince you to destroy this place with me. You're impossible. It's adorable. You're incorrigible. I like it a lot, actually. I even envy it a little. Oh, thank you. I was just being difficult, which is very charming of me. But I was half serious too. No, never. I was almost tempted though. I don't know what your memories of this place are like. They're bad and good, right? Always a little worse than better. It's the same for me, but this place is still precious to me. It was a seed of life once, and maybe it can bloom again. So I'm going to protect it. Oh, that reminds me. What are you here for? Do you mind if I ask a personal question? What are you trying to do with it? I'm going to not destroy it. Oh, phew. That's what I was worried about. I really know when I'm beat, so I'll just be... Hey, stop right there. What? It's just trying to banter. You're trying to shoot me. That's dangerous. I didn't. You were thinking about it? Of course. Well, she was. More like Saturn was trying to get a bead on Pluto. The string of pulsed tides ripple through Pluto's nebula cloud, hoping there's something it can eventually find. It's not like Pluto's hiding. She's just everywhere, and it's hard to tell where she ends or begins. Aren't you thinking about shooting me too? You're the one with the advantage on visibility. I'm just sitting here and I can't find you in that cloud. Oh, you're totally right. Dear super weapon with the cradle's graces, are you actually a little naive? I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Was that wrong? Obviously. Sorry, I've never learned to be on my guard. There's no need to be when I can tell what people are thinking and nothing can touch me. If it actually worked like that, you'd absolutely never trust anyone ever. No, I trust everyone. I can always trust people to do what they always do. Do you think you can trust someone to surprise you? Can you trust them to do something you wouldn't even think of? It's when they surprise me that I'm the happiest of all. That's when I really feel we're not doomed, set in stone, always making the same mistakes. I'm being stupid and following my heart, just like you. You're going to have to do better than shoot at me if you want to surprise me. There are other ways to fight. You're better at that than me. I think you can surprise me. Is that what you want? On Earth, our souls are weighed down by gravity. At the same time, gravity holds us together, tells us who we are, good things and bad. The Earth's gravity is strong because it's all of us together. Forces that would be insignificant on their own are powerful enough to make a planet where we hold it together. That's why we are much stronger on Earth. Even the weakest human has that sacred light of the soul and its many powers, to forbid direct contact with the soul, to all the arts and sciences shaping existence, to be many and also one. In space, our gravity is weak. Without the constant pressure of the tidal reactor, our souls would dissolve the way that water, at high enough altitudes, will evaporate off a pilot's tongue without atmospheric pressure to remind it to be water. Stories bleed into each other easily, and our shapes don't hold steady. The fragility of our ships couldn't survive a moment on Earth. In space, there are things we could never do on Earth. With our heaviness, we could never be so tender. Okay, I get it. Let's pick up from earlier, but fight in the way only pilots can fight. In the way only us, close to the edge of being human, can fight. That isn't fighting at all. Do you feel the same way, Pluto? You are listening, right? I was going to tell you I don't have time to play today, but it sounds like you know I still want to anyway. That's going to make it harder to convince you to leave me alone and let me do this. You are here to play, right? Nope, no convincing me. I can pick up on the subtext. Blame it on the wicked celestial mechanics pilot who bothered you and didn't let you get any work done. The thing is, it's fun. More fun than hacking. To bleed, corrode, seep into the mist. Saturn can feel every particle and the celestial physics that make them move. It's a swelling orchestration. Pluto is conducting something beautiful, something overwhelming. In the equations are hints and patterns to how Pluto thinks, to where she might be. It's simple to trace back, easier than hacking too. Space is boring, space is empty, space is broken. Space will never give us everything we want. Space is a hope that what we want to make real might already be out there. Just reach out in space and time, and we can almost touch it. Space is just a means to an end, but for a moment, Saturn is overwhelmed with how beautiful even the boring, dead, empty space can be. Even just the way that dust moves forward. That's when Saturn realises she is lost. She went in to tear open the story, twist it around, and instead, she got so lost and happy in it, she didn't even notice the clouds swirling around her, the cosmic dust covering her, Pluto holding her tenderly. Pulled into the atmosphere of the colony, they orbit gently. Saturn has no reason to fight. Doesn't even feel like she lost. It feels like she won something special. Okay, Saturn. Open your cockpit. Why? Because I trust you. Do you trust me? I do. The same way you trust me. No, I trust you way dumber than you trust me. You're so amazing and so much more amazing because you believe in something like being human. You pour your everything into something that won't pay off. That makes me mad, but then sometimes I think it might work. Saturn's cockpit opens. Naked guts, exposed circuits. Chromaculus thumb presses against Saturn in the distended cockpit, exploring. Oh no, you're really hooked in good there. Why would you ever do such a thing to yourself? You don't have to answer, I understand. Your cheek feels human and soft. Oh wow. Suddenly I don't feel like moving the colony much. Maybe not destroyed any more than it was before will be good enough. Why am I doing this? I need to get back to my post. But you look so nice like this. I want to get closer. Is that okay? No, I guess I shouldn't. That's so. What a brazen move. Okay. Maybe you really win this time. I love. Subject, RE. Ganymede intercept, do not read Saturn. Completely uninterested in communicating with Iapetus in any capacity that's not technically. I know my boundaries, but you are very nice to worry. I know you're not jealous, because you do respect me, but don't make me worry. It's what I like about you. I know you're worried for me, not about me, and I appreciate that, but I do want to clarify things so you stop asking me about it, even though it's cute and I do appreciate it. Really, I'm not just saying that. Please don't hear that in a passive-aggressive voice. But I've been meaning to ask this for a while. Is it okay that I believe in this? It's important to me that you understand that it's nothing to do with him. So, I worry that you don't understand what it means for me. I don't believe humanity needs to be punished. I'm fine being human. But I think an important reminder is needed. Not alien in the sense of foreign, other that can bear all of our rage and hatred, but alien in the sense of casting our own features into relief. I think what we see as a result should shame us, but there are many things that we need to see. You'll probably say you support me and believe in me. Thank you. But you'll also say that it means something to you too. And that's why I love you. Subject: Stringer Pulse final specifications. This is not what we talked about. Not by a mile. You know I don't actually have a moral compass that doesn't revolve around what's cool. So coming from me, just know that it's my professional opinion that I'm not even sure this is cool anymore. Creating a theoretical matter is not even hard under laboratory conditions, and in space it's easy to sustain it, but the creation of exotic matter like electrotoxins can get really not fun if you're not careful. Since you hate fun, I already know that's not what you're after, and you don't have to level with me or anything. That's fine. But I do want you to know that this thing is basically designed to degenerate as quickly as possible. The reactor tends towards aversion, and that will require a pilot I really do not want to meet. And a hiccup pilot sighting style that no one should ever do. Eventually, it's going to drag the pilot down, and that's going to be really weird and ugly unless they're immediately destroyed. Clearly you want that. I mean, you've said so, but if they're going to have so much fun, let me try to convince you that you should set a self-destruct in there. Maybe something cool will happen when she averts and the ship self keeps ranked in space-time to mess everything up. If it's not, don't you want a backup option? Sam, I would love it. Just love it. Yeah? If you messed everything up this time. Is this reverse psychology? Did I really reduce you to that? I'm a little impressed by how your persistence in nagging me, but now I feel like I'm a little impressed by your persistence in nagging me, but now I'm feeling like I pushed you to your limit. Shut up. As always, I am serious. Messing things up is literally the only thing in the world no one has ever needed to specifically tell me to do, and you keep yelling at me when I do. I've been looking into Iapetus's work on the Aversion Project. Oh, how much do you know? More than you know. Of course, it was always suspicious that Iapetus decided to support us. He was very insistent on his interest in taking humanity to the next stage, as if that's why any of us wanted to connect with the so-called existential threat. People who already had everything on Earth couldn't possibly understand. They just want even more for themselves. That's what I thought too. Iapetus's plan is very attractive to certain factions in Memorial Foundation. Certain factions in Memorial Foundation really like the days when humanity was united against the existential threat. Except aliens aren't real. Okay, they're an interdimensional shadow cast by the gravitational impression of human culture and space-time, but that makes them a few shades sort of real and much less dangerous than their cousins on Earth, and even those are so weak kids with radios can take them out. Anyway, Pluto wiped them out. That was the whole plan. Since humanity doesn't care about them anymore, they'd never expect that we would find a way to avert our tidal reactors and become the aliens ourselves. The only alien is what's alien to us, and that's fundamentally humanity. We're alien to ourselves. FX equals that which is human, that humans are not. And Iapetus isn't going to give up everything he has for that. You think he's lying about wanting to? I think he's lying about himself wanting to. I think he's happy to let us complete the project and go home. Because he'll have exactly what he and the rest of humanity is longing for. A scapegoat. Someone to be an alien humanity could guiltlessly fight against. Yes, I'm fine with abandoning Earth. It hasn't given me anything. But not on his terms. Not ever. Don't worry, Mercury. I've got a plan. No matter what, it won't go his way. I apologize if my reading is getting a little, dull. I am abruptly, the tiredness of running errands during the day's heat is catching up with me, and I'm this close to falling asleep in my chair, but I also really want to keep going, so we're going to push ahead. I am, however, going to have some drink. In the Garden District, close to the malfunctioning and broken tidal reactor that kept the colony together, time and space aren't quite right. It's a perfect place for a real fight. How deep under Lunar Terra skin do you think she can get? So I need 2 more CNs and 1 more MF. See how this goes. This place. Don't feel like seeing her again? Come on. Don't tell me you don't have any fond memories of the Academy. I do, despite myself, and that's why I don't have any wish to see it like this. A room and garden that only reminds us how weak the gravity of this whole venture really was compared to Earth. Not to mention, it was all for something completely worthless too. Wait, now you're grumbling about mission? This is historic. The Lagrange reactor is just a hollow shell, and there's barely any advantage to having getting it. This better be a trap to use you as bait to get the Memorial Foundation off our trail. Oh no, what a terrible trap to fall in. More flirting, I see. Is it unbearable? Yes, extremely. Are you really still getting nowhere with her? What are you talking about? I think you said you were going to crack her open and peel her shell, but I don't think you have. You don't know anything. I am completely and utterly correct then. She's highly evasive. Point blank or sniper shot, I can't seem to hit her. Your type, I see. Shut up. I got the Academy's most notorious heartbreaker to look like an idiot at me, so I went, so shut up. She's even stupider than I thought she was, but she's not as stupid as me. You're the one with your guts all over the place. Just fine. I'm frustrated, alright, but it's not because I'm not getting anywhere or because I even care. Alright, this time, I'm done playing. Happy? If there's anything there, or if she's just metal all the way through, I'm going to find out. If she is that boring, I'll never forgive her. But I'm coming back with guts this time. Going to fight for real in a fun way. Opening futures, closing pasts. A surprise attack isn't very sporting. Don't be jealous just because I got mine first. You got a wound on me, and the Lagrange reactor shell. Not a good enough deal? No way. In fact, apologise. Hiding so I can't surprise you again is so unfair, Lunar Terra. Let me bully you some more. I'll pass. Are you sure? You sure you don't want to get bullied? See if you can find me first. You like cat and mouse games, don't you? You want to try it again? Let's hit the time of day where I get abruptly really itchy because my body is like, adhesive. You've had this adhesive on your skin for like 20 hours. I'm done. Goodbye. And then I will spend the next 4 hours itching and desperately counting down the hours until I can take it off and rub Neosporin all over the irritated bit and then die. Because only I would apparently have a reaction to the type of adhesive that's used in non-latex adhesive, which I realised a couple of years ago when I got tattoo done, and it took longer for the irritation from the bandage that I wore for a day to heal than it did for the tattoo itself to heal. And then I just completely forgot about it, I guess. And next time I see my doctor, I'm going to have to be like, and by the way, also, I forgot that I'm apparently allergic to this. Help? You like cat and mouse games, don't you? You want to try it again? I won't let you just play a game this time. Can you find me even when I'm serious? Then I'll get serious. Lunar Terra hides in the Garden District, the one part of the colony she has no memories of. The Garden District doesn't have any trees or flowers or plants. It's not that kind of garden. A garden for the children meant to inherit space. Not like Lunar Terra, who came in the first generation. Teenagers too old and too moulded by Earth's gravity to inherit the cosmos. The second generation was raised here, in the light of the colony's centre, the Lagrange tidal reactor Lunar Terra remembers like the sun, with the hope that they will grow freely in the lightest of gravity, free of Earth's weight. Lunar Terra is the one holding the useless shell of that reactor now. Even broken and useless, Althea doesn't feel comfortable holding it. It's an unpleasant, untrustworthy object, and it feels wrong to hold. It was made by people, but it doesn't seem like it was. It's a fake, but it's unsettlingly close to what celestial mechanics eventually intended it to be, when they seized control of the reactor, even before the conflict broke out. Something not made by humans. If it's so useless, why don't you just give it back? You can tell what I'm thinking, huh? Or read between the lines. Just like Pluto, but different. Something I still can't understand. You've been playing with her too, haven't you? I sure have. Jealous? Of which of us, though? Both. I could never read the story like you both. I'm straightforward. It's not even a little true. You're being way too stingy with the narration. Narration? You can't perceive space-time as a story? A narration sped out of the ambient gravity of humans? Telling you about everything that is, if you can listen? You can't see how obviously your envy is bleeding out and everywhere, can you? I'm slipping, huh? Letting out more than I thought. But see why I'm jealous? I don't know anything about what you mean. I wish I could speak that language. It's amazing. You should really be sad that you don't speak it. I just have this absence. Your impression on the narrative is something like a spilled whiteout, a gushing ocean of bleach, which is a pain in the ass for someone like us. You also have a habit of acting too fast to get caught up in the story, especially when it's not going your way. 3 times faster than the story knows what to do with. That's how. You are different from Pluto. She would swell into the atmosphere, but you slowly bleed into the spaces between the lines. I can feel you seeping through, blurring the lines between one and the other. What is it you're after? Curious? Then stop hiding. The rain-slick streets are looking more and more the same. The weather is malfunctioning, the moisture regulator is shot, and the failing gravity does strange things, playing strange tricks. Mare Crisium's feet are wet. She's afraid. She's falling right into a trap that feels like it's in every direction at once. You can't trick me. Lunaterra dodges at the last second or was never there. If that bleeds into the narrative, then Lunaterra's trick is having a real habit of interrupting the story just when it's getting good. Good thing she'll never know how much Saturn and Pluto think that's cool. I do love that. I do love that, like... Saturn doesn't know how gay the others are for her. I have eyes too, Lunaterra. Don't think gravity alone is enough. Saturn swipes again. Lunaterra wouldn't be hit by such a thing, but she isn't ready for the dripping, sparkling neurolining. She misjudges the distance, the unsureness of gravity. Mare Crisium sparks and bleeds from her left arm. Lunaterra swings her spear, crushes the string of pearls to the ground. It crumples, then darts away, lost in the mist. Saturn's worse off, but her machine will only fix itself, and the poison in Mare Crisium's systems is only getting worse. You almost got me, but not quite. Is your game a little off today, Lunaterra? I thought you were going to be serious. You're going to have to do a lot better than that if you want to see me be serious. You're misunderstanding. I'm going to cheat. You're the one that has to take this seriously. How's that arm feeling? Still sparking? Still gooey? Doesn't take that much, you know. You've been cleaning your system regularly. What kind of fight are you looking for? A one-sided fight where you try your hardest and still lose? Looking for payback? No, who cares about that? It's for you. Because you love getting owned. You're never holding back. There's no way I can beat you. You're even stronger than any story anyone's told about. You always win, and no one touches you. If ship-style fights were life and death, that'd make you a genius. But they're not. They're made in the image of plastic toys to fight like plastic toys. So that makes you an idiot for not playing along and being honest. You'll save a lot of time if you give in and say I'm right now. If you beat me for real, that'll be all the answer you need. Stoked to the last, but that's great. Your holding out on me is actually kind of delicious. When's the story going to tell me what's happening? When are you going to let me hear about the static in your joints, the trembling in your mask, your slackening grip? I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to know. Lunaterra knows that it's true. Saturn can't sense where she is at all, but she knows immediately that Lunaterra knows she knows. Tell me all about that, and I promise, without hate or fear, that I'll listen. You don't believe me, but I promise, I won't laugh or hurt you. I can't see you, so you can escape if you want. I'll let you keep that little ball even, and the poison will wear off. But I want to see. Do you want to show me? The Mare Crisium crashes to the ground, skids along the wet streets of the colony. Her legs give out and her arms are too weak to catch her fall. String of pearls lands gently, surprisingly, but that's what these ships were meant to do. They're meant to land gently. Even the electrotoxins are tingly, not painful, in a warm, numbing sort of way, like licking a battery with every part of your body. There's no way that Lunaterra can stand up. As soon as she lets it all in, she falls in a mess, totally defeated. Oh, wow, you really did it. You got so quiet. You're so well trained. You're the big, strong ace, but you shut down so quickly. You really can't deal with me at all. Why is that? Didn't you say you weren't going to bully me? I'm showing all possible restraint. You really did make it hard. I thought you were kind of cool. You really acted like you knew what you were doing, even though you were so scared. Leave me alone. Oh no, baby, but you love this. You're looking forward to it. I can see right through you. These ships are meant to touch. If you never lose, you never let anyone in. Thinking of this as losing at all is actually kind of sad. You want to give this all up and drive me home? You really sure? Luna Terra, you really ought to know you really ought not to lie to me so much. This smug, untouchable Luna Terra that I used to hate, she's so boring. But the you that doesn't want anyone else to, you don't want anyone else to see, that's a much better you. That's the you I want to see. Luna Terra is conscious of her own breath, of the unconscious pulsing rhythm of her ship self, which trembles, and not just from the electrotoxins. She really can't move in any sort of effective way, but what she's feeling isn't fear or even helplessness. It's anticipation. If she thought she trusted Saturn as much as anyone else, not at all. Now that she has no choice, she's surprised. She trusts Saturn so much, even knowing exactly what she wants to do. Saturn plucks the broken reactor off Mario Crisium's hands and tosses it away like trash. And I will, now that I have the power to peel your skin off and see it. I'm really happy. I never thought I'd finally get to see you like this, even though you're letting me. Little secrets just for me that the narration will never tell. For you only. So only I get to see you twitching and helpless. No one else knows. Not telling. But it's just for you, so keep it ambiguous. Got it. I could be straddling you and pinning you, that's definitely possible. But not for certain. I'm not saying anything definite. You got it. Thank you. Got my pride. Your pride? Tell me about that. It's worth a lot to me. Then I'm worth even more, right? It's January 30th, 1981, and the day is almost here. The deadline to save everyone who came up to space with us, fought with us, tried to bring everyone up with us. If we shut down the lunar gravity well, there won't be any choice left. The power that keeps our ship cells in check will fall apart, and we won't have anywhere to go but home. If we kill the dream, no one will die. We really, really hope that's true. No one should die in space. No one should die, period. No one has to die, because ships of combat, shimmering missiles of light, cosmic explosions, electricity that sears through the soul, blade sciences impossible for a human to produce, dances of combat without end, a fight against ideas with toys. Humans would never show that kind of compassion to each other. Earth's answer is a single atomic particle fired at near light speed directly into the cockpit core, a true weapon from a military force. The quickest, most efficient, instantaneous, unavoidable way to kill a human. The most boring possible way to pointlessly die. No drama, no meaning, just nothing. It's January 30th, 1981. In the end, they might get everything they want in the way that no one wants. If we open up the lunar gravity well, then we can establish forever another Earth, and maybe another. We can inhabit the whole system. But that will cut humanity into two and more. The distance will be so much further. Everything we have will be even further from them. How much are we going to lose? How much will we never be able to give them? The moon is very close to being a part of Earth. It's full of life, and humans can live here now. It feels impossible, and I don't want to give it up. We should break it off forever, shouldn't we? All I want is to stitch these two humanities together. But if one of us dies as a result, I will fight forever to keep that precious thing alive. It's January 30th, 1981. They don't name it because naming it gives it power, but not naming it gives it more. It must be in every corner, behind every door, far away in the spaces between stars. It is defined and categorized in every human culture, and it is deliberately omitted from explicit naming conventions by the Memorial Foundation in favor of a euphemism less captivating to the imagination, such as existential threat, rather than a specific word that would stimulate the imagination. But a trick like this will not work. In the euphemism is a hollow void that can hold all fears and possibilities. Through gravity, humans decide what is real and what is not. But what is not does not stop existing. And it, like humans, can decide. It's the kiss of inverse, everything that humans can imagine but can't become. The shortcut to attaining it is to forsake everything that humans already are. If a bunch of idiots get tricked into going there, it would make a very convenient enemy for Earth. That's their real fear. Before that happens, I will tell you a little secret. Ready? Day 7. Route installation complete. New OS in operation. Celestial Mechanics fleet collecting in the orbit of Earth's main. Request for assistance received. Ignore. Awaiting manual input of mission parameters. Assist Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics with the opening of the gravity well and changing gravitational constants to make conflict with Earth possible. Mission created. Get in as much trouble as possible with the Memorial Foundation Ace. Mission created. Calculating gravitational slingshot data from server hack. Ready for launch? Yes. Accepted. Normalizing gravitational slingshot effect. Prepare for immediate launch to Earth's moon. Okay. Subject. Why children? They aren't children anymore, but when they were pilots they were, for all the reasons that children are more suited to be pilots than adults. Since the decline of the space program, there have been fewer and fewer waves of new recruits, and the current pilot generations have no successors. Adults are serving as pilots because there are no longer any children in space, and adults should not have to serve as pilots. It'd be cruel to send children to fight a war so that adults don't have to, especially as adults are far more powerful tidal forces than children. In their physical and metaphorical manifestation, tides are the measurement of the authority that culture has over the universe, the light of the soul that turns all impossible things into our dominion. The gravitational forces of children are weak enough to perceive and engage the existential threat without obliterating it instantly, and as a cancer that exerts a subtle influence in the back of our unknowing minds, they are suited to protect us from it. For this reason, Memorial Foundation has pushed against a traditional cultural institution for engaging existential threats with this more humane practice, due to the resiliency of children and detrimental long-term effects contact with existential threats has on adults in the vast majority of cases. In some exceptional circumstances, contamination lingers in children. The gravitational forces never achieve sufficient power to extinguish the existential threat without resistance. Without the tidal force to challenge other adults, they remain in limbo, unsuited to anything else. The remaining small percentage of the original pilot program that continues to reside in space is made of such cases. Subject. New version proposal. Thank you. I'm no different from my former colleagues. I think we all want the same thing. Every one of us. I'd implore you to be forgiving, though not on their methods. Many of us are thankful for the ending of the Cold War. The paranoia and suspicion that accompanied the threat of the existential threat in this world, as it fed on the trauma and malaise and discontent of the world after war. But I think some of us must have some reservation about the future. In abandoning existential threats to address the threats of our home, it will inevitably result in us turning into conflict between humans once more, and in turn, the existential threat will thrive. We are looking for the smoothest, most uncontested future. I won't lie, this will not ensure happiness for everyone. In fact, it may be difficult to understate how much it will ensure the opposite of what we ensure, for what we will ensure are very few. But what I'm proposing will ensure the maximum happiness for the maximum number of people. And what else can we do? Do you think about Neath still? That's out of nowhere. I think about them every day, obviously. They're the reason celestial mechanics exists. First to understand what happened to them, and then because we couldn't stop thinking about it. About how to make what happened to them happen to us. We still don't know what it was exactly. They had us all get together to reach through space and time and contact the existential threat, wherever it came from, to make sure that it truly had been defeated for good. I think they were really hoping it wasn't. We felt the same, especially us who never got to fight yet. We reached together as far as we could, and Nath reached farther than anyone. I didn't think it would have been them before anyone else, but I didn't know them. Was it that they reached too far? Or what? Or something reached to them? What's the difference? In the end they got it. Whatever it was. You having second thoughts? Maybe. They were the only one. I always wondered why that was. Were they special? In a good way or a bad way? Were they chosen? What would be the criteria? We know it's none of that, though. Just a lonely, unchosen child, with so little presence in this world that they fell into another one. That's how it is. The only trick is how to do it on purpose. Sorry. That's just it. Are we too attached? I want to be something new and share it with everyone. Am I too heavy for the apple? It's a thin line between falling into inverse because you have hope and because you don't have any left. We should be glad it's not so easy, you know? I am going to AFK extremely quickly while I go and get some water. Lads, I am so stiff. I stood up to go to the kitchen and my leg's like seized up. And my neck is also seizing up a bit. Fun, we love to see it. Right, let's swap to back to the game to play. Make sure that this has paused. It has, good. And select our last 2 missions. Common. Let's see, alignment. LT first, in line with Memorial Foundation. Pluto, but will align with CN. Earth has promised to let the children of space sort themselves out, for now, but their machines have all guarded the way back home, just in case. When Saturn and Lunar Terra meet in a chance encounter, the true terror of humanity stares them down. Spinning up tidal reactor, frequency double checks, first turn. Hang on. Hair in my glass, it's annoying. 100%. Frequency double checks, second turn. Stop and spin them again. From 0, again, where were they at? 99%, but it doesn't matter. They should be at 100, so we're spinning them again. Mercury, if I go out and die, it's not going to be because we didn't triple check every reactor pulse. Saturn, this time, please, could you listen for once? No matter how useless I know that telling you this is, I know I say this over and over, but can you listen? Seriously, tell me you're not going to be risky this time. It's not a game anymore. This mission is different. It's not a ship self to ship self. Those troops are real weapons from Earth, designed for threats that are real, not existential. They are perfectly capable of killing. They are designed for no other purpose. That's not going to even be an issue though, because your orders are strictly to observe and not get remotely close enough to engage. They won't leave stationary orbit around the near side of the moon. They're Earth's insurance plan, and we can ignore them as soon as we make sure that's all they're doing. Don't joke about dying. That can happen. It won't if everything is perfect and you do exactly what you're supposed to. It finally matters this time and you... Mercury, please. Well, I'm actually really sorry, Mercury. I didn't mean to make you worry. I didn't mean to make you really worry for real. I promise I'm not trying to die, okay? I promise, okay? Making poor choices about who to kiss and what to do isn't the same thing. I listen to you when it's for real, okay? I wouldn't cross the line. You're my friend. No one else is worth you. You're the most important. We've been through too much. I wouldn't ever go back, or throw everything we've got away. You know that, right? Sorry, I'm acting like I forgot. Mercury? Hey, say something. You idiot. Give me a minute. Damn it, I was going to act like I tricked you. I was going to get to feel smug, making you think everything was serious, and I was going to lord it over you. But now I'm crying, asshole. Sorry about me. But I love you too. Don't worry. Me playing this game, but now I'm crying, asshole. They hide together in the peaceful moon's winter night. It's winter on the near side of the moon, which means it will be half a month before this hemisphere sees day again. The frosted forest will see spring in a week, summer the week after, and fall a week after that. A year of seasons in a month-long day. Even terraformed, could humans live like that? On the near side though, at least the Earth will always be in the sky. Eternally huge, shining with authority and kindness. Unlike its agent, who hangs in the corner of the sky like a migraine warrior. There's nothing extraneous about its shape. It is here to do 2 things. Look, then kill. When Saturn flew a millimeter too high, the autonomous military unit looked, then killed. But just too slow, and Lunar Terror pushed her away and dragged them both deep into the winter forest. The unit looks twice as hard, spinning courage not to miss twice. Shh, don't make a sound. You're being too noisy. I get that a lot, but this time I'm not making any noise, so don't tell me to be quiet. You're the one flitting all over the place. But a sneak for gravity. Vibrations are not the kind of noise they care about. So keep moving and don't make noise in your heart. Don't make a sound in all possible senses. Don't make a sound physically, emotionally, or spiritually. Calm down. They don't like it if you're not calm. First of all, that makes no sense, and secondly, I refuse. I don't think you should die, so think of something else to do instead, because they can kill you. Unlike me or any ship's elf. So think about as little as you can, okay? And keep your tidal reactor's output to a minimum. It helps to make yourself be like an object. You will be a thing that other things happen to, rather than agent. That's what it's looking for. Agency. So it can make it cease immediately. You know, I'm absolutely super good at that. I have a lot of experience with it. So I'm absolutely not going to. Well, me too. That's why I suggested it. But you're right. I shouldn't have suggested it like that. How about this instead? Start by thinking about the Earth. The autonomous device becomes visible instantaneously. It doesn't look anything like a ship's elf, and it bears no resemblance to a human shape, because there's no intention for it to design to accommodate humans. That's the opposite of what it does. It has nothing to express, only a function to perform. What did I do? Probably thought too hard about Earth, but shh, all the same. So creepy. That's supposed to represent Earth. Doesn't even look like humans made it. Really? I think it's rather appropriate that it doesn't look human at all. They can detect an artificial gravity reactor, but they don't really know what to do unless they can lock a target and kill it. So if they can't verify what it is, they won't do anything. It feels so heavy suddenly. What is this? I'm telling you, that's the Earth. Raw gravity. It's very, very heavy. You can feel its authority. That's the gulf between us and a planet. I know that. I guess it feels really different to feel it in person. You were saying a way to avoid it? Do you remember being a normal kid, even for a little bit? Or do you remember the last time you acted convincingly like one? Obviously. I was a really good kid, you know. It's checking gravity against the script, and it thinks, sorry, it doesn't think, it just checks that variance. Aren't I pretty excessively varied by now? Just wait there a second. It's hard to teach on the spot. It's not that I don't know the idea. How are you so good at it? Sounds like you kind of hate that I am. I promised I wouldn't die, but I'm mad I have to do this. Lunaterra crawls slowly through the frostbitten green crater to where Saturn is curled among desert-cold junipers. The dark, barely perceptible dot monitors them in the pale earth light, so precisely waiting. It's easier to hide if their ship cells are turned off, or as close to that as a ship cell can be. So they climb outside, to the cold lunar winter, to wait. I'm here. Are you doing okay? No, obviously. I'm scared. Me too. So forget what I said. I hate doing that too. You warm, laying there? You're not warm at all, but at least your boobs are soft. The autonomous unit doesn't like flirting, huh? You should think instead about how you're keeping a secret. Keeping it really close. Waiting for the perfect moment. And no one else can know. You can do that. That's not as bad. Is it that big a difference? There is infinite difference between someday and never. I've extremely forgotten how to be patient, but I know the difference. You're right. It really is important to never forget. It's still not going away. It's a lot more patient than us, huh? It's looking at you too. Aren't you on their side? Just because we want Earth back doesn't mean Earth wants us back. So Memorial Foundation really is that stupid. Maybe. In their eyes, we're as bad as you. So I go back. Because fuck them. They don't want anything to do with us. Memorial Foundation thinks it's optimal for humanity to return, but I think many humans think it'd be just fine if we died. That just makes me want to come back to Earth even more. Spite, I can understand. I can be Betty too. I want back, even if only for spite. We will bring them back a little taste of what it is like to be us. They're afraid we might bring something back with us, and they should be, much more than they already are. That's what I want. Knowing that you're just as petulant and petty as me, and this week too, makes me reconsider you. In a good way. It's wonderful. Maybe makes me want to fall in love. Oh. Huh. I said maybe. Don't get full of yourself. Sorry. There's no way we're getting any more than half of what we want, at best. You're only hoping for half of what you want, so I wonder if you'll even get that, if you get it. I don't expect things to go my way, but, you know, I hope you're coming along, wherever it is. Truer than you know, LT. Whichever way we go, we're going together. In this cosmic glow, we're going wherever we're going together. I love you, get used to me now. You made me go upside down on purpose again. You're so good at evasion, but scoring a direct hit is so easy. You win. It'll be nice to see the end of every world, but this one alongside you. See, the machine's already bored. Well, not bored, but uncomprehending, and then it lost interest. But I'll stay here with you until it leaves for good. Because flight or fight, petty bitch to petty bitch, lab rat to upperclassman brat. Really? Do you maybe love me too? Okay. I mean, like, literally also. Subject: why children? By the end of the space program, with recruitment having stopped almost a decade before the official decommissioning of the space program, all the pilots have become adults. Yet they were recruited as children and spent the fiercest years of fighting against the existential threat as children. Much like criticisms levied at the scout programs on Earth, it was a motion that Memorial Foundation considered heavily in deciding how to recruit their pilots. Oh, hello. Hello. Thank you very much for the follow. Cybergoth song. I hope I am reading your name correctly. I apologise if I am not. Cybergoth Bommy. There we go. Okay. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for coming along. Children have no special piloting qualities, with much weaker tidal authority than adults, who, of course, have the tidal authority to engage other adults. Adults would be... Oops, sorry. Bear with 2 seconds. Okay. Adults would be stronger, more powerfully able to use ship cells. Much more so, the beloved and chosen adults, rather than the discarded and flawed children that were chosen. Enough adults with much stronger tidal forces than children will destroy the existential threat before even comprehending it, and because of this, those threats are able to hide in the world and prey on those who are weak, such as children, or those who are unchosen even as adults. Those who are strong enough should struggle with other humans, and those who are weaker protect the rest from trivial threats outside humanity. Sustained contact with the existential threat often exacerbates this effect, and there is a cold, twofold reason for delegating who will and will not confront existential threats. Children and the unchosen bear the burden, so that adults will not be worn away. Everything is ready for you. I wish you'd let me help you more often. You'll be fine back home, without a ship. I envy you a little bit. Piloting is for girls and jocks. It's not my thing. But I wish I was coming with you. Sometimes. A very tiny bit. Mercury? We are very different, but I love you. We're parts of the same thing. We wanted the same things. And I'll walk alongside you until we get them. Really? You're not leaving, possibly forever? If I'm leaving, you're coming with me. If I stay, I'll bring you home. You know you can't rely on me for anything, but you can count on me for this. I promise. I promise. You promise with correct punctuation and capitalization? So you know it's real. What else can I do to pay you back? Nothing. I count on you for a lot, Saturn. The same way you count on me. It's your boy tearing up just a little bit. Let's do this. Celestial mechanics and Cradle's graces have one thing in common, and that's escaping Earth's gravity. To do that, they need Saturn and Pluto to work together to corrupt the lunar gravity well. It's an opportunity for one to get the upper hand over the other, but they're not thinking about it politically. How's the new equipment fitting? It's not that much weirder than how it was before. This mission really is a weird one, Mercury. This was always the plan, you know that. The lunar gravity well is the anchor that all tidal reactors resonate with. It's how ship cells maintain their form, how colonies on other planets and orbital bases and ships maintain environments humans can survive in. Gravity, in both a literal and figurative sense, is required for us to live in space, and without it, we dissolve into the universe, become everything humans aren't. There's a lot of that in the universe, if you've noticed. If we want to turn into something interesting and specific, we have to make sure that we're controlling the aversion process. Is it going to work? Probably not. I wouldn't trust Iapetus to do this right. There's nothing in it for him, so why would he care? When he lived on Earth, he had everything he wanted. He isn't like anyone else who came to space. He's just flirting with the idea of transcending human limits for boring reasons, and only for his. There are no places left on Earth to conquer, so he wants to be the first to in the future. This actually works, I don't want to share it with him. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I told you before I was playing this how I wanted, right? I'm not letting him have this. Saturn tempts Pluto to fall in with her. On the lunar South Pole, the moon's first city glitters mundanely, so ordinary it's hard to believe it's not just another sight on Earth. The Lagrange colony was destroyed, the Ares colony was stillborn, but Earth's satellite is almost as much Earth as Earth is. So we have the authority to name Earth's satellite the Moon, part of our body, the native sphere, and not foreign, unknown lunar. Even if the space program is ended, the Moon will remain part of the Earth as it once was, before a cosmic event tore it from Earth. Reclaiming the Moon was a historically and existentially important event for all of us, except for this impossible tower on an impossible mountain, in a point of eternal light, which is not so earthy yet. The gravity well is suspended directly above the tower's point, resonating with Earth to keep every wayward human in space grounded. The Moon has been to almost all of the Earth's gravity, but not quite. There is still some possibility yet. You're quiet. Are you up to something? What makes you say that? The tilde, but also everything else. Hey, I'm being very sneaky here. The string of pearls and macula circle around the small, glimmering void of the gravity well. For all the good it might do, celestial mechanics and Cradle's Grace's capital ships are standing by, just not too close. Who knows what could happen? I should be suspicious, shouldn't I? I think you must have some sort of evil plan. Of course, you should always be suspicious. I'm shifty. I'm here to get the upper hand. Good, that's why I'm here too. Still, I don't mind if it's your evil plan that finally succeeds, as long as it's yours. Trying to fluster me. Try harder. I mean, it's working. I just want to get flustered more. You're in a really good mood. So I'm extra worried. More worried to be working with you than all the times fighting you. Not in a bad way, though. The gravity well is a massive engine, and it is very stable. To destabilize it is very dangerous to everyone and everything, which is why they're opening it. The escorting operational platforms on Cradle's Graces and Celestial Mechanics tonelessly coordinate with each other to instruct Saturn and Pluto on preparations, like exes that are forced to attend an event for their children together, because that's what they are. Ain't it the truth, eh? Now you're the one who's quiet. I was in a good mood. Did I tease you too much? Oh no, I was just remembering something. Do you remember this too? We did something like this before, a long time ago. We did? Together? I only saw you a little bit back on campus. It's kind of a weird time. You seemed really far away then, more so than now, and we weren't there that long. For the third generation, they wanted to kickstart the process, you know? Not a whole childhood of care and attention, but condensed, chemically assisted, cybernetic enhanced growth. They wanted us to go from nothing to perfect. I guess by that standard, we didn't fall as short as we could have. Unfolding dimensional chords, begin torque acceleration. They were hard times. You know, I was really bad at first. Not just terrible at all of the classes, all of the tests, all of the work, but I wasn't obedient or likable either. I was super annoying. Still feels like that's me most of the time. That can't be true. Of course it's true. I wouldn't have tried so hard if I hadn't been like that at first. When I first got here, I knew I was lucky. I should have been so much happier than I was on Earth, but everything felt wrong. It took a long time for those memories to turn happy. Containing stray particles, establishing it. It was the opposite for me. At first I loved being a science experiment, but I guess it would have been different from you. I didn't think about that. But you made it sound like we met each other before. Enabling physical counselor, limit off. I'm good at remembering people. There's not that many of us, so it's not that hard, but I remember you. You look like you started out perfect. You know, I was a little jealous of you. I'm not surprised you don't remember the one thing we did together. Everyone was there and we were just thinking about what happened, not anything else. You're talking about that? Yeah, we were all there, so of course you were there. I didn't think about that either. Nyx, Iapetus, and Europa all wanted the space program to justify its existence. Earth didn't agree. The alien threat that we defeated with such ease wasn't even worth it. Just a shadow created by waves of humanity in space. A colour and a light that fought us and never came into focus. So they had us all come together over the gravity well, just like this, to see if we could pull whatever they were more fully into our universe. And then it went so wrong. That was when the space program really ended, wasn't it? We never should have done it. It was risky and no one knew what they were doing and everyone was desperate. I don't know, maybe Nath doesn't feel the same way. The tiny point of glimmering darkness in the gravity well sometimes shines in such a way that, for a moment, it seems like there's something inside it. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. I can't blame them for what happened there, either way. Really though? What do you mean by can't blame them? I mean, they were the one who gave in, right? When most people talk about what Nath did or what happened, when they turned inside out and lighted the gravity well, it was as if it was a horrible accident. Not something they did on purpose. Or why do you talk about it like it was? I just had this feeling. I didn't really know Nath at all. No, maybe I should just be honest. For a second I was thinking the same thing. What if I jump in? I thought the same thing. We could have been like them. During the testing, when we saw the gravity well opening before us, we could have jumped in too if we wanted to. It was scary. It was. But a lot of us looked at that, and after, we thought, us too. And that was how Celestial Mechanics was born. That's the truth, whatever Iapetus really wants aside. We have our own ideas. It's amazing. I couldn't be so brave. When Earth looked at what emerged, they were filled with despair. So that's how I decided to feel too. After all, it was proof that the existential threat was the same thing that it's always been. The same thing we've been fighting as long as humans have been humans. The shadow of possibility cast by us. The not quite there aliens we had fought for so long were just caused by our ripples in space-time. We only had ourselves to lose and nothing to gain by fighting them. Where Nath went and what they became, only Venus knows. What did you really feel in that moment? Before you told yourself otherwise? I'll tell you how I felt. I felt smug. I mean, I did everything right and that news messed it up. When I learned it was the end of the program, I was mad. But when they demoted me from piloting anyway, I realised I was the fool. It was an important lesson, not being a good girl. Stabilising reaction, synchronicity perfect, hold until stable. I feel like I know you a little better now, Saturn. Me too, in a new kind of way. Now you, what did you really feel? Like she has an incredibly dry throat, just like me. The gravity well opens. The reactor is turning inside out, from shining white to infinite black, drawing in all that is and emitting what isn't, yet. But with gravity itself, the weight we have in the universe, that alone is all we need to touch. Oh, there you are. I knew we'd only get a moment to touch. Do you maybe sometimes think of falling in? Even you? You must have thought about it. Core resonance in perfect conditions, ready for full release. Gravity well unbound, all stability checks nominal. Here it comes. Back then, I almost did jump in, but I thought about it before it was happening, when they said, you must not, under any circumstances. It would make anything I couldn't do possible if I left everything I had behind. It's an awful paradox of a deal, but I wanted to do it so much I would have if Nath hadn't wanted it 1 second more. I've never told anyone that. You're really good at seducing people, Saturn. If I gave you the chance to fall in again, would you? Would you fall in with me? Oh, just you wait and see. The gravity well shines. It is collapsing into a star. Everything is starting. The opening was peaceful, perfect, no problems. Yet there is a feeling, like the fluttering of wings, deep down. Day 9. Everything hangs in the balance. It's not that bad. Yeah, let's just flip a coin or something. Don't you think it's still kind of an important decision? It's not the fate of everything, but it's the fate of a lot of things. It's the future of human beings in space. It's not what I wanted. None of these are things I wanted. What are you fighting for then? I mean, it's not everything I wanted. I was fighting for everything I wanted, and this is as close to it as I got. That's not enough. Well, I mean, it could be better. I love you both so much. What complete brats that can't be pleased. Don't tell me that you're fine with it. No way, you're right. It could be so much better. See? So I'm fine with whichever ending we get. I want a better ending too. Wanting a better end doesn't mean I'm fine with whatever. Why not? What do you want? I want what we want. Us too. That's why it's fine either way. Lunatera, I think you haven't understood something. This isn't the ending. We don't need one ending. No matter how the future turns out, no matter who wins, we can take whatever ending we get and make the ending we really want out of it. It's not like it doesn't matter, but no matter what future we get, can't we make it the one we wanted? Just like we did before the ending. Okay, sure. Let's pick our favourite. We don't need a true ending. Whatever it is, we'll make it the true ending. I'm going to go with Celestial Mechanics, because I've kind of forgotten the ending there. Well then, I'm quite impressed. You don't even sound surprised, with how much I thought I'd everything up. I thought I'd get to see you surprised for once. If you had this much fun, if you had this much faith in me, you shouldn't have got so mad. I wouldn't be respecting you very much if I wasn't prepared with contingency plans, but I'm delighted to not need them. I thought so. I used to think you knew everything. Oh, good to see you're understanding the fallibility of your superiors. Now I understand it's because you just don't have any experience not getting what you want, and you always are sure deep down it'll turn out for you. You and me. I'm no stranger to not getting what I want. The world would be a very different place if I did. No, Iapetus. Not even close. You've never even come close to not getting what you want, like I have. Sorry for the low-flying seaplane. Forgive me then. If you put it like that, I'm certainly much closer than you. But that's the reason for this arrangement, of course. You will all get the bodies you wanted so much. And Earth will have the villain it desires. So you are that clever. What of it? It's still a mutually beneficial scenario. You and humanity will be so different from each other that you couldn't possibly understand or communicate with each other. Both sides can fight each other with abandon until the end of time, and never hurt those they love. You will have yours, we will have ours. If you have the will to abandon your own humanity, then abandoning the rest of the human race who never cared for you in the slightest should be trivial. You don't know how relieved that makes me to hear. You really don't understand. Whether it's spite or love, no way I'm not sharing this gift. The fleets crash, ship self against ship self. In the shadow of the gravity well, none of it is visible from Earth. A quiet conflict, not a war as has been stressed. It's more like a very pointed argument. Could be a conversation, if only they understood each other. And sometimes they do. Could be kissing, if they loved each other. And sometimes they do. With the gravity well open, unrestrained, they fight weightlessly under the full weight of their own gravity alone. A truer way to fight than anyone has experienced before. To fight with one's own self and the full weight of one's gravity, in the hollow weight of the universe, is the only time this will be possible. Our true power, unrestrained. Celestial mechanics simply takes advantage when no one else is looking. Celestial mechanics made no plans to win. After all, there's no way to win this sort of conflict. The winner only has to prove a point. The way that Celestial mechanics accomplishes this is simple. True to themselves, without the weight of gravity tying them to Earth, tying them to orbit, holding them in their human forms. What happens next is the natural result, and that's what proves their point. It isn't immediately clear that anything's wrong. It happens naturally, as a consequence of truly unrestrained conflict. Each one climbing to the top, seeing how far their limits are, and realizing, suddenly, that there aren't any. When the first pilot sends her reactor's limits past the theoretically possible range, her reactor averts, and what only existed deep inside is now the face she wears. A perfectly unbelievable true self, so true that it cannot exist even in orbit, until she's joined by another, and another. In unison, their gravity holds them together. Good job, Saturn. It's exactly how I imagined. You're not having second thoughts, are you? It's everything you wanted, and it'll be good for Earth as well. Your infection of the gravity well was perfect, and you will successfully fuse with your ship self, just like you wanted. It's for our happiness too, of course. Humans will get to live as humans, aliens as aliens. As enemies mutually agreed upon, with no possibility of communication or reconciliation. And no conflict or guilt on our own sides. Humanity shouldn't externalize all of their problems, but I think we can still manage progression with most of them. And with your hands already sunk into the gravity well, I should tell you that it's technically already too late. Things will take care of themselves from here, and thanks to your actions, I've had more than enough time to prepare for re-entry. I knew it would be that easy for you to ditch us. Pardon me. Not so. I still find you all so fascinating, leading such beautiful lives, I have regrets, of course, but I have a real world to get back to. I'm not having regrets either. I'm only mad about how much you're underestimating me. Because you think I'm satisfied only getting what I want. I'm not pretty enough for more. Oh, it's so good! Saturn breaks open her circuits, and the aversion starts immediately. She can feel the gravity well pulling her inside out. The secret within humans to be pulled to the fore. She needs it, but not just yet. I wonder what it is you think you can do at this point. You've already conceded. Unless you're hoping for some reconciliation between humanity and the alien. That is, by definition, impossible. Must not be too impossible. You wouldn't be training all your weapons on me. Well, I am impressed, because I finally have no idea what it is that you're doing. But just because I don't understand doesn't mean I'm not going to prevent it. You have no understanding of what the violence of actual combat is like under Earth's authority. Iapetus's Rensivo Terra is equipped with certain features that allow it to divide and categorize. It's an abstract ability with a lot of applications, sophisticated and sinister, and the warrant of Earth behind it. So Lunaterra figures the best solutions to just suit him. A lot. It's honestly a very good solution. Iapetus buckles on whatever thing he thought he was doing. He isn't. Ha! Easy. That's because the hard part is coming next. Promise? You say that now. But thanks for going along, even though I didn't tell you anything. I know how to make the best of a band ending. It's not anything worse than whatever you had planned, probably. So help me make it the best band end we can find. Pay attention or die. The intent is lethal and simple, but the weight is not heavy enough to kill. The string of pearls tears a hot pink scar through space-time. His bullets can go there. If you can come close enough to talk to me, you can come close enough to kill me. But I don't want either. I want to never see or know you throughout space and time. Indeed, so complete the transition. If you remain human, you'll die. I can ensure it. The autonomous military units come to his aid, but their sensors are off, their movements are slow. Human gravity is losing its authority here, and their tools are useless. Could seriously really use a little bit of help here? Well, if you're actually asking. Pluto unfolds the rhythm. She decodes the sequence. Plates shift, engines hum, her eyes open. So she opens up her eye, her other, biggest eye, big enough to swallow it whole, and then she blinks, and swallows. She's got hungry eyes. Pluto's hands hold Saturn's tightly. I thought you promised me no bad endings. That's what I'm trying. Might really be working. This already feels too good. I really know what you mean now. Do you have an answer? I'm sort of counting on you for it. You think I know how to find the good future in all this? Well, you're a good person. I need you to be the one not just thinking about us, but the humans left behind too. You think you wouldn't? I think you think too much of me and too little of yourself. Iapetus has an answer. The story ends when the weapon that is designed without exception to kill does so, and forces a choice between one of two sides, human or alien, two distinct and incompatible worlds. God, this song is so good! The mathematical model needs to be perfect. It needs to allow for exchanges of matter, light, information, without allowing for understanding or communication. There is an extremely easy calculation to create. It's the oldest narrative there is. It's the one that Earth has told again and again and again. Iapetus has an extensive library to draw from, starting from the first moments humans separated light from dark. There is a way, and fuck off with this, we don't want it. Saturn throws that narration out. Who says it? Why should it work like that? Why not make something different? Who says physics work this way? Who says the calculations turn out that way? Iapetus wants us to take the fall. For everyone. For the Earth. For us to scapegoat each other. I hate that. If our cores collapse, a world where anything is possible arises, and at the same time we will have closed off all possibilities that make us human. The existential threat we always feared and hoped to unite us will be real, and they will finally have a real war. I want all of that, but I just want to add a tiny little bit extra to it. Iapetus wants to reduce the only information not be possible to exchange between us to violence. But you want for something different to be exchanged. So that we can't hurt each other, but that we can do something else with each other. It will have to be very small and very imprecise. At least there'll be something different, you know? There's no chance of going back to being human. Not zero chance, although we won't even remember what being human is, so it's pretty low, I guess. That's good enough for me. Let's hope it's good enough for us all. There's no limit to how big we can get. Size is a funny dream. It's relative. It doesn't have to matter anymore. It can be set like any other variable. As the gravity well draws matter towards it, and even light, it emits a not energy, and not light, that can perfectly make up a body just as well as all that. Big enough to be equal to the Earth, big and close enough to compete with the Moon, to anchor in space and time equal division between us, to be a new and separate world. The autonomous units are single vectors, prepared to human violence, and we can't be treated like that anymore. Only sad humans can have their gravitational impression in the universe terminated by the extinguishing of their bodies. They'll have to fight us on our terms if they want to get rid of us now, the way humans should fight, with no fear of ending. The consequences will be unimaginable. We aren't going to have selves of consciousness like we're used to having. That's what means to give up humanity. We won't know who we are, and we might not understand or grasp each other anymore. That's true. You might not know how true it is, it's so true. The final mystery of what is human that is alien, ever-shifting, for all ground reclaimed by humans lost to them. Humans have a lot. We'd only be able to imagine what it was like to be them. It's not all bad, though. Don't underestimate the human race. Do the maths. If we lose how humans love each other, do you think there's ways to love each other that we don't know yet? The humans don't know yet? Do they really know every way there is to touch and know each other? Or is there still much more to learn too? Maybe we're only scratching the surface. There are many, many routes. We won't understand each other in the same ways, but we'll understand each other in ways we never could. And we'll write a new story, with our gravity, a new world. As we leave the level existence he insists on engaging us at, our tides push back, and Earth's tides, which no longer bind us, insist on him. What are you doing, hypocrite? You want to fight in the realm of heaven? Your place is on Earth. That's only to wonder at now. The story's ending twists. We are far away, under the space and time. Watch us in the sky, but never touch. Until you find your answer on Earth, you'll never touch heaven. Hi, Pixie Pix. Hope you are doing well. I am sorry if you came along just to hear the police car going by outside. You'll never touch heaven. You know, no matter how bad you are at being human, there's no other way to be. It's really disappointing, but it's simply true. We just can't think in any other terms. You can say you want to not be human, but can you actually make it happen? Forget even how to logistically, technically, philosophically make it happen. How do you blueprint it in the first place? Every time to try and imagine an alien, in the end it's just ourselves from a different angle, because all we have are human things. So the ambition to assemble them in an order that's alien to us is kind of inherently doomed. But that doesn't mean it's useless. Imagining that which is human, that humans are not. When I say I don't want to be human, what I really mean is, I can't stand being human like this. Emphasis on the like this. What I want instead is to be human like that. That was the beginning of the space dream. Everyone in the Memorial Foundation felt that way when they sent us here. And everyone on Earth who believed in us felt the same way. Let's be more human. How much more human can we be? That faith waned, maybe because they were jealous. Yet, maybe also because the direction we were taking in the future wasn't enough. Just another human that they didn't want to be. Or a sort of human they're scared of being. I don't owe them anything, but there's one more thing I can't stand. Not being seen for what I am. So choose to come with us, or choose to stay. But I won't be happy with them without them knowing what they're missing out on. Look up in the sky and see all the weird stuff we get to do with each other. And come join. Reactor collapse. Aversion event. The impulse, always deep and always lurking, to turn inside out. Everything has reversed. Nothing is the same. Giving up everything that isn't real for everything that is. So now they can't touch each other, can't lie in bed with each other, can't get legs entangled with each other. Instead, they have ways of physically interfacing that aren't like anything we could imagine. Clouds of particles drift into each other. Maybe they touch through each other instead of just on the surface. It can be in a cold and gentle way, like through a ghost, or maybe a warm and gross way, like reaching into guts. Smiles communicated in physical light, an embrace of psychedelic mind matter. Lazy sex in a morning bed, except the bed is curvature of space-time, and sex is something so obscene it would make your mind implode to consider it. The ship self fused to the hide, the gravity reacted to the flesh, because humans have sciences to distinguish the differences between these things, and these new aliens don't. They won't have arts or sciences. They won't know what the differences are, and they won't know what they mean. But they will understand the difference between many other kinds of things that we do not understand. A real hero would have turned out differently, but that's not who we are. Our ships have mouths now, and they open, and they can scream. There can be sound in space, now our vibrations can touch the things that aren't there. Humans know it's time to flee. The threat from within is now without as they desired. The moon is no longer hospitable, as alien and mysterious as it was long before it was possible to reach it. Can't speak or write. Has other ways of communicating information. Can't use the old senses. Has new organs for it now. Can't love in the old ways. There are new ways of having that too. Laying together in the stars, we can do that though. The metaphor translates. That's what this is, indisputably. And everyone is invited, who wants to become a world and never touch Earth. That's a different world now. The strange intimacy can touch us even now. I was really hoping I'd be able to get through reading without having to take a break. Oh, Pixie, this game is so good. It's called Heaven Will Be Mine, and please, please play it. It's about being gay and piloting giant robots and being in space and not being tied to a shitty Earth. As you can tell, it makes me very emotional. I just do not have words. Nice. I do not have words for how much I love this game. I really don't. Their strange intimacy can touch us, even now, longing to teach us and tell us what they've learned, but they share laughing without laughing with each other, even now. They are so far away they cannot even be our enemies, but they will break our hearts. I'm glad to hear that, Bex, because I get emotional very, very easily. But I'm glad to hear that it's a good way of, like, judging, if that makes sense. Of course, I'm really glad. I feel like this game is... You sort of have to think not too much about, say, the physics or science behind it, and think of it as three people interacting and learning each other and learning how to be with each other and learning how to be new types of people. It's just really, really good. They are so far away they cannot even be our enemies, but they will break our hearts. It's a lovely night tonight. Perfect not for stargazing, because the light of the trinary system outshines them by far, but it's a perfect night to watch the three of them. Look, there's Lunaterra, the 2-in-1, rising, almost full. She almost outshines the moon, a bridge between the Earth and the moon no one can cross. The nebular cloud of Pluto is a shimmering, benevolent mystery, swallowing an eighth of the sky in a permanent sort of twilight. And the glittering twinkle of Saturn that triggers the edge of your sight, this way and that, always seeming to be in the corner of your eye, but hard to see directly, and making the boundaries of your heart and mind ever so thin. We lay out our blankets and watch until someone catches us, and we run, but it's all fun and games, until that day comes. They're waiting for us always. They just need one, or three, to reach out to them again, even if it's just a thought, to touch them. To touch them once again. Like, ugly crying, but it's because I really, really don't have words for how much I love this game and how much I feel seen by it. I guess just how beautiful it is, and how well written it is, and how much it understands the way that I feel. And that every ending is good, every ending is happy, you know? It's a game where you get to pilot robots and flirt with girls in space, and you always get a happy ending. It's really good. As usual for a Saturday, I am going to end stream and go lie in bed and cry for a bit, in a good way. I will be streaming Destiny tomorrow, as usual, catching up on challenges and being gay in space, but in a different way. To you too, Pixie. I am definitely crying in a happy way. This game just absolutely gets in the way. Oh, you too, Pixie, thank you. Always so nice, I appreciate it. Words, I've lost them all. Tuesday is FF14, which is raids and roulettes and the normal shenaniganry. Then on Thursday it will be Higurashi When They Cry, Tsukio Toshi, where I may end up crying for completely different reasons, in the sense that I am absolutely certain everything is going to go to shit. And then next Saturday, No More Heaven will be mine, because I will be starting the Nier remake, which I am very, very excited for. So, I'm going to say take care. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I do hope that you enjoyed. Please, please, please play this game. It is so good. I keep saying I have no words to describe how much I love it, because I can't turn them into words. Just that it's probably the most seen that I've ever felt by a game, but in a really, really good way. In a way that just makes me want so desperately. So, it's good. So yeah, thank you for coming along. We've got 3 weeks in a row of ugly crying from me at the end of each stream, so that's good. Take care, and I shall see you guys tomorrow.